He'll fight for your rights, and he's got his own channel shining bright. From the courtroom to the web, he's got it all. Sharing legal knowledge, answering the call. He breaks it down in a language we all understand. The Aussie Overlaw'd taking a stand. With his Aussie charm and his legal know-how, he's a hero we need, showing us how. He fights for justice, no case too tough. The Aussie Overlaw'd, he's more than enough.
Check that on live chat.
He's more than enough.
I think that should be alright.
In Melbourne town, where the suits all grind, there's a lawyer with a vision, one of a kind. He's the Aussie Overlaw'd. He'll fight for your rights, and
looks
he's
like
got
both
his
streams
own
are set
channel
up.
shining bright.
Sweet!
From the courtroom to the web, he's got
Alright, I won't worry about
it
Twitter at the
all.
moment.
Sharing legal knowledge, answering
Let's do
the
this.
call.
Oh, fuck off, Stingy. Just because you're unable to make the time when I'm usually streaming now. But yes, it's the court-ordered monthly. Screw it. For those of you watching on the main channel, I am going out on the backup channel, new channel. I don't fucking know. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to my shit show. How we doing, folks? Hope you're doing all right. It's been a hell of a week. It's officially Good Friday, so we're in the middle of a long weekend. Got nothing to complain about there. But figured I should probably actually try and do a stream rather than catch some Z's, because it seems like the nighttime sleep doesn't actually seem to be doing me any good, so. What do you mean you're usually streaming? I almost forgot that you stream. Ouch! I took 3 days off this week because I was dealing with some court shit. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't in a great headspace in terms of streaming and all that sort of shit anyway, but damn, that's harsh, Bal, even for you. Fuck. What the fuck am I supposed to say to that? Ouch. I'll be perfectly honest, I'm hoping that this will be the last of these streams where I have absolutely nothing planned. Because, well, for one thing, I made some progress in terms of sorting out what's actually going to happen in terms of the car streaming. Using a... well, Stingy's always a bad influence, so... using a combination of Nord and remote, was it unified remote and some very finicky backdoor stuff. My own fucking joke, of course. I had to read the disclaimer before watching to make sure this doesn't cause side effects like the pharmaceutical companies. You'll be perfectly fine. That one's basically there for when I give certain people a run up the backside myself. It's more to make sure that, you know, I don't wind up in court like certain other YouTubers have recently. And I mean, look, as Grok keeps telling me, I'm a right-wing, cynical, conservative commentator who basically tries not to give a shit, but actually seems to care way too much about what people think. Key point, people. Do not ask Grok to roast you. It will not do your ego any good. Sinji, thank you very much for the $2 super chat towards Godzilla. Thank you very much for that. Oh, that reminds me. I forgot the robots. Wait, what's that? You being good for now? Oh, I doubt that. Just finished watching Her. Watched it when it originally came out and totally forgot all about the weird shit in the mirror movie. Like you're talking about the armpit backdoor. Oh, gross. Oh, I don't want to have to update in the middle of a fucking stream. No. Just connect. Wait, seriously? If you don't update, you just you close yourself? Oh, fuck you. Actions, commands, platforms. No, it's all frozen. Seriously? Oh, well, okay. Hopefully it'll work. If not, well, fuck it. Yeah, so hello, Erin. How are you doing? Oh, no, there it goes. So long story short, I will now be able to use my headset in the car to control my computer at home, meaning that I'll be able to continue playing clean and crisp videos to react to without having to include the, well, because the main issue was that when I was doing it in the car using StreamYard and whatnot, I was able to control my laptop using my headset, which is really easy, actually, because it was just wired connection to my phone and then Bluetooth from the phone to the laptop. But the problem obviously was that even with the Starlink, having a semi-good connection meant that the YouTube video would have to download onto my computer, run through StreamYard, and then go back out, and you guys would get not only choppy video, but choppy camera, occasionally bad audio from me. At least I'm cleaning things up a little bit, and you guys will get clean and crisp YouTube videos that we're watching and reacting to. The problem with the setup with doing that was that I then had no control over the videos, and they basically just had to play through, and I mean, how the hell am I supposed to actually do, like, oh shit, you have a sick puppy, please look after her, expert. And yeah, cheers. So anyway, point is, once I actually put together a thought process or a coherent sentence, I'll be able to advise you guys exactly what I'm going to be doing in terms of streaming. I mean, obviously, starting next week, we've got the Karen Reid trial. I'll be trying to cover as much of that. Wicked video, not you, typical dad. What do you think you're getting now?
Said, so we get the video and not you. Typical dad.
What do you expect from me? Okay, it's literally, I show up to your Little League games occasionally. I will bring my hot new girlfriend. She's going to occasionally slap you on the ass. You'll be fine. But as long as I bring the cigarettes and the milk, I'm still doing more than certain other people, okay? Hey, Psychodol. Clean and crisp, no caffeine. Wasn't that a 7-Up commercial? Look, quite possibly, but let's face it, I can't survive without caffeine. I went through, so I think it was Tuesday, my time. I went through the entire day. Not a single can of Coca-Cola, not a coffee, not one of my, like, little no-dose packet things that I have to use to get through the night occasionally. Boy howdy, was I a crabby motherfucker. Honestly, it was not good. So, hey KY, wow, I am stunned that so many people are actually showing up. You want milk? Sorry, you want juice over milk? Damn it! I'll see what I can do. I mean, I've sort of been hooked on this orange juice / passion fruit stuff, so There you go. Hey, Glennis. Happy Easter to you too. Just don't bring menthols. Oh my god. So was it what was it, Sunday my time? I had to take 10-15 minutes to myself, okay? A stream at normal time when humans are awake.
Hello there.
We'll see if I can keep that up. Wait, what the fuck happened there? Huh. Sorry, that one just surprised me. I was not expecting Ozbot to respond to Ozbot, who responded to my backup account. Okay. Anyway, what was I saying? I just had to take 10-15 minutes to myself. And so I went outside, I smoked a cigar. I just had to just take some time, okay? I have done my best, despite what some people may think and comment and email about, or just be snide pricks in chat. Oh shit, I still haven't emailed Jude. Jude, if you see this, no, you're perfectly fine. Please come back to chat. Fuck it. What was I saying? I just needed the 10 minutes. So I sat down, I had a cigar. But here's the thing. I was under the weather. I wasn't feeling particularly well. And I was also rushing to smoke the cigar, okay? Because Lady Overlaw'd had taken the little one to the park for a play date. And I had to make the use of the time, okay? And just probably the stupidest thing that I've done was I tried to smoke an entire cigar in 10 minutes. And like, because you can smoke a cigar in 10 minutes. Like, you can buy a cigarello, you can buy the ones that are designed to last as long as a cigarette would and things like that. But no, my dumbass took a Monte Cristo number 4, tried to burn through it in 10 minutes, gave myself nicotine sickness, and then spent the next 20 minutes sitting in that chair going, oh my god, I'm stoned. For those of you that don't know, if you hit nicotine very quickly and you're not not a regular smoker and things like that, if the nicotine hits you too fast, it can make you feel drunk, but not the happy drunk. It can make you feel nauseous. It can make you feel high. It can do a number of things. Lady Overlaw'd walked in the door and she's like, I thought you were smoking a cigar. What the fuck did you do? And I'm sitting there holding onto my chair, just going, I'm not moving. Everything's okay, but I'm not moving. And yeah, and like for the rest of the day, I just felt nauseous. So, but that's where you just, you try not to do stupid shit. Surprised you didn't yak. Well, no, I mean, I'm a big boy. I surprisingly, unless it's like 9 in the morning and someone supplies me with a whole heap of shots, I'm generally pretty good in terms of my stomach. Thank God for that. First high was when you're in your teens. No, fair enough. I remember one time with a blunt, I accidentally swallowed a chunk of tobacco that was stuck on the end, ended up puking on the side of the road. Oh, damn. Dad's a drug addict now too. You wish. Because if I was, I'd share, but you wish. Have an autistic son and pet sitting a needy doggo, not a moment to myself. Oh, Deanna, you're a saint. Be careful. Just look after yourself as well, okay? That's only because we love you that we're smartasses. Oh, I'm sure. Happy Easter, David. Cigarettes were $1.25 in the vending machine. Oh my god. Like, imagine going back to that. Also, hi Connor. Sorry, I did mean to say hi. I saw you chat earlier, and I was like, oh shit. gas was 64 cents in 1989. I'm very much hoping that, depending on what happens in the next 3 weeks, we're supposed to be having our general election here. I'm not, for anyone that's been watching the car streams, I'm not particularly a fan of either of the guys running. Let's be perfectly honest. I think this time around, I'll either be voting Libertarian or I'll be voting Independent. I'm thinking more towards Independent. But at the same time, the whole removing the fuel excise so that it drops to less than $1 a litre again. Because you got to remember, I'm driving 4 hours every weekday. I'm filling up a tank. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's half a tank. But I'm putting $40 in my car every day. Okay? And it adds up, obviously. So I could be happy with that. Like, so I'm moving with my kid last night. Guy ordered 2 burgers and ice cream. It was $1.50. The guy told him to keep the change from $2. Damn. So, never smoked anything and you all aren't really selling it. Don't stress about it, Island. Nicotine's pretty potent poison at sufficient dosage. Knew a guy who ended up in the ER just for boiling it without gloves. Jesus. That sucks. So, oh, and the other thing is, so I couldn't sleep last night, but about a week ago, Lady Overlaw'd and I decided it was time to upgrade the phones. And so, I mean, I've got the S22 Note. That's been my workhorse for the last, well, I mean, 3 years, obviously. But actually, I think I got this in 2021 because they released it before it hit 2022 anyway. But so I was transferring all of my stuff across, and Connor, you'll appreciate this. I thought that I deleted my WhatsApp, including all of the messages, and I just about shit a brick. But thankfully, I could not for the life of me sleep last night, and so I was scrolling through, looking through my like my backup and all that sort of stuff. And thankfully, as it turns out, WhatsApp is actually stored elsewhere. It's part of like your web encryption or whatever it is. So if you log in, you can still just re-download everything if you've backed it up. Thank fuck for that. But I was going through all the media files, and I found a bunch of voice messages. Oh, no, I know you would have, mate, and I appreciate that. It was more just like, you ever have that moment where it's like really late at night, you can't sleep, but you know that you're dog shit to the world? Like, you would not be able to help, pull someone out of a burning building if your neighbor's house caught on fire. And you just, like, for lack of a better term, like, you don't feel vulnerable, but you know full well that you're not your strongest, shall we say. So when I realized that all that, when I realized and I thought that all that was gone, I was like, oh my fucking God. But no, thankfully I was going through and everything re-downloaded, thank God for that. And I found those voice messages. And so I'm laying in bed next to the wife, and she kicked me. Because I'm sitting there listening to some of the messages, and I was just pissing myself laughing. And it was probably the most that I'd smiled all week as well. Aside from watching, I think I told you guys last week that I think it was last Friday actually, that I watched Burt Kreischer's Netflix special. And I'm just finding that I'm needing, this might sound stupid, and I'm not meaning for this to turn into a therapy session. I'm finding that I have to go out of my way to find things to laugh at, because everything on X, everything on YouTube, everything in my day-to-day feeds, let alone the fact that I am stretched thin and like whatever else, everything is just negative. And I'm not sure if that's just because, I mean, like, algorithm aside, because obviously doom scrolling, the more I doom scroll, the more the algorithm's reinforcing it, particularly with the X feed and that sort of thing. And it just sort of, it's been catching up to me. Hello, Pet Goldfish, how you doing? So, but I think that's why I've been streaming less as well. Not only just because I don't want to just sort of like put that onto you guys, and I don't really want it out there on the internet that I'm like a pussy or anything. But I don't feel like I've been doing anything of interest or anything that's entertaining or like the world is negative right now. Look, it is. I mean, the amount of time that I've spent. I think doom scrolling's is the appropriate way to put it. Hang on. Let me just, I specifically went out of my way. So this week, what I did was I muted various phrases. I muted various phrases off of my X list. Where are we? Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I can search now. So I don't have to worry about that. Mute and block. So I don't actually have... Oh, I do actually have a few blocked accounts. That's really strange. I didn't actually think that I'd blocked anyone on X. Oh, it's mostly like... Oh, Christopher Boozy. It's mostly just accounts I didn't want to hear from. So... I've muted Minecraft Movie. I've muted Jack Black. I've muted Dutton, Albanese, Labour Party, Liberal Party. Just because I'm over the fucking election at this point. I really am. Need to watch the GOAT stream. Okay, now, I have questions about that. Because I that was me this week. Couldn't find good enough entertainment. Yep. Can fully understand that. I think all the social feeds are victims of the algorithm. Yes, and I think that's one of the problems. Is it's great that he's gone in and he's done what he's done to, make it so that X can run on 20% of the population or whatever it is that it was. But I do find the algorithm's too reinforcing at the moment now, because you click on a single post by somebody and you are then bombarded for the next 3 days with related posts. And okay, maybe I've liked one big-titted chick saying that she's upset about the diversity shit going on in Sweden or whatever else. Doesn't mean that I then want to be continually bombarded by big-tit chicks. But what I'm trying... Fucking chicken jockey. Lost all your phone... WhatsApp messages when the phone died, no backup, and we're still really sad about it. Oh, Jesus. I'm so sorry to hear that, Alan. I recommend the Unsubscribed podcast, Tuesday night's main event, and Friday Night Tights for some laughter. I used to watch Friday Night Tights for a while there. I'm not quite sure why I stopped. And you've mentioned the Unsubscribed podcast a few times. I'll have to have a look. Been going out of my way to watch positive vids like figure reviews or gaming streams. Almost all of your stuff blocked is porn bots. Oh, Diane, I did get your email. Thank you so much for the offer of assistance. I may just take you up on that later. They need to change it to offer more varied content. Yeah. Yes, of course I'm lying, Bal. Duh. Doesn't mean you don't, exactly. Damn alligator algorithm, and yes, it was on pause. Big tit chicks don't hear that phrase every morning. Well, what can I say? I've been missing doing the nighttime streams. I'm also just a little bit Marlon, thank you so much for jumping in to say Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you too. I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little bit weirded out by the whole Aussie Overlaw'd thing. Because I do feel like it's really so much easier for me to do those videos when I use the koala. But I've always said for the longest time that, creating a persona or whatever else is a ridiculous amount of energy, and I don't understand why anyone would do it. I kind of understand it now, why VTubers do it anyway. But I've also realized that I've been censoring myself for a significant amount of time, and it's sort of like I'm kind of just sitting on either side of the boat. And to be honest, I've been fucking retarded about it. Because, I mean, look, screw it. Either I'm going to be entertaining to people or I'm not. And if I'm not, that's fine. I'll hit the red button. I'll disappear into obscurity. I'll go back to the rat race, whatever else. I don't know. I don't care. And that's sort of where I'm at the moment, is that I'm apathetic about it. And you know what's really dangerous? That's the point. Cheers, Connor. Have a good day at work, buddy. That's the point where most people get a divorce. It's not when there's still anger. It's not when there's still emotion. It's when you get apathetic. And so what if someone gets pissed off because I say something that's a little bit pervy, or because I say something that's racist, or because I say something that's like offends people? Why have I cared so much? Oh yeah, because YouTube's a cunt and it keeps throwing people out and banning people and all that sort of shit. And that's basically why I haven't been streaming, because I don't have the time to care. I don't have the time to censor myself. I don't have the time to find things that are going to be appropriate or that are going to be interesting. So, I mean, you can't picture me as racist. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not. Fuck you, pal. Come on, that was funny. For those of you that don't know, back when Mighty Meat was still streaming on YouTube, I was on with him and Bal, and I think someone else might have been there. But we got right to the very end of the video. I thought he'd hit the stop button, okay? And I wanted to test how sensitive my mic was as to whether or not the boys could hear what I was saying. And I whispered very gently into the microphone a certain word a few times, okay? And Marty called Bell and he goes, "Did Hayden really do that at the end of my stream?" I fucking lost it. I didn't realize that the video was still going. So no, there are times when I've said some very inappropriate things. No, it was not Abbo, it was the other one. Good morning, Matilda. Or should I say it was a variation of the other one.
Matilda Heinen said good afternoon from the Netherlands, Purple Heart hand waving Netherlands.
I know he accused you at first, Bal. That's why it was so funny, because no one expected that to come out of Aussie's mouth. Happy birthday, Draren. 34, congratulations. Oh, for those of you that can't see, like, Connor and a bunch of other people, he's in the other chat. I've got both streams running on the main channel and the backup channel, so... So, point is, I can be crass, I can be whatever else, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm just gonna be me. You don't like it, you don't have to love it, okay? If you don't like it, feel free to fuck off and go elsewhere. I mean, plenty of people already have. I will admit it's been disappointing that I have noticed that, irrespective of the time change, I've noticed that certain regulars have fucked off, and, you know, there's other people that are more than happy to throw me to the wolves when it suits them. But, I'm still here, I'm still kicking, I'm still standing. I'm still going to... If you're an Aussie Matilda, you'd be waltzing. But you know what's next week? Karen Reed 2.0. Such language, I'm offended. Fuck you. Is the long and the short of it. And that's really all the people are going to get out of me. Exactly. Best 2 words. Fucking off. No, 3 words. Fuck off, cunt. That's literally it. So, oh, right, Karen Reed. I haven't worked out the timing for what's going to actually happen there. I'm actually half tempted to do it after it's all over, but I'm still, because I don't know what it's going to be like being in the car. Okay. So pissed off, can't relay. Why? What's going on? Talk to me, Cakespoo. What can I do? Stream's officially demonetized. Well, I mean, look, if anyone wants to help out with the Starlink bill, it's entirely up to you. But at least hit the like button. Really? So you're live? Look, that's fair, KY. I can't... Okay. Here's the problem for me at the moment. As you guys know, I'm driving 4 hours a day, okay? By the time I get home, it's 7 o'clock. My daughter desperately wants to spend time with me, so she is doing everything she can to push bedtime back, okay? She insists on falling asleep on my arm. She insists on doing everything she can to stay awake, getting up, going and giving her mother a cuddle, getting up and going and getting a drink, getting up and going to the toilet, getting up and... She deliberately goes out of her way. But it's what you expect from a 6-year-old, okay? It's what you expect. Trouble is, in order to get her to sleep, I have to lay down on her bed. She cuddles up with me and she falls asleep. You tell me, okay, so the fathers out there, okay, you tell me how the fuck you would not fall asleep doing that. And even though I am not making Ricada excuses, fuck you. Even when I stay awake, the brain has already kicked into the process of putting me to sleep because I'm laying on a soft bed in a dark room, cuddled up with the child. It's warm, it's comfortable, I'm already dog-tired from work. So, yeah. 6-year-olds are the best. Look, she's 6 going on 16 at this point. 100% did that every time. Yeah. But I'm trying. Is what it boils down to. And frankly, I think I'm going to have to be doing them during Karen Reed because I don't know that there's any... otherwise, there's no way in fucking going to keep up. And so, like, guys, I'm telling you right now, I will do what I can when I can, but it's going to be a fucking slog for me, okay? So if I can't keep up, if I can't... you know, whatever else, all I'm asking is that we don't have too many spoilers. I'm probably not going to be able to do jury watch when they're deliberating or anything like that. So basically everyone is going to know long before me. And frankly, I'll probably know too because I won't be able to avoid it on my X feed. So. Well, I spelled your name wrong. Glad to see a streamer still miss you and Jeff doing Lego streams. Well, hopefully we'll be able to sort something out about that too. Because I'm not going to lie, I've still got... I mean, it's not the same as Lego, but I've still got the model that I was working on last week, which is still sitting here. Fall asleep with her, it won't hurt. Just end up rolling off the bed when she pushes off. No, see, here's the thing. She insists on me laying on the wall side of the bed because then she gets the fan. And for some reason, she only sleeps in the crook of my right arm, not my left. Very freaking frustrating. Do what Runkle does and recap after. Yeah, okay. Look, I'll do my best, honestly. Having me for many years, putting my baby to bed. She's 12 now, so it's a different. And look, I'm well aware that I'm going to miss this time when she's older. That's why I'm trying to enjoy it now. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm prioritizing that. Okay? Well, shit. Thank you, Grifter Wannabe. Why did that not read? Doesn't matter. For the demonetization Starlink fund, thank you for plugging along. I appreciate that. I very much do. And shit, I know I missed it. Where was it? It was Cakesboo. There it is. You didn't Starlink tell me it isn't so. I did for the car streams, just because it is significantly better than trying to rely on the cell phone coverage, because I go through many places where I drive through black spots. Insert your own joke here, Bell. Goes through my head every fucking time, not gonna lie. So in order to be doing the streams to and from work, it made more sense. Ironically, I still can't believe that the problem with the streams that I was doing in the car was that I had a Cat 5 cable plugged into the back of the Starlink and then into my laptop. Makes no sense for me whatsoever, but... Oh shit, Island's been here for 15 months. Wow, thank you. Son's 18, now he's an arsehole. Fair enough. Wait, what? It's called The Trap. Well, enjoy your take on the case in your time frame. Thank you. I appreciate people being patient and, you know, just making our way through it. Lock your doors when you drive through black spots.
Liz Bird said KR. Just do opens, highlights, close, SND verdict. Don't do more than you need to. Sleep with your kid. You clearly needed smiling face with hearts. It's 1 p.m. in UK. There?
It's just gone 10 p.m. So, thank you, Lizbird. Appreciate that. Oh, winks. Thank you. Wow, thanks, guys. God, I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. Like, I don't do these streams because expecting anything like that. So, it really does help, is all I'm saying. Because getting kids to get our kids getting us to read to them before bed. And because it's mandatory for school, obviously, that she be doing some reading each and every night, of course she leaves it until right before bed. So, black spots, thought you stayed out of abo areas. Fuck you. Spots of colour. Because in about 2 years, the hormones are going to start, and man, that'll be the start of a whole nightmare. Oh, I'm fucking staying in Camperdown. I am. When that shit starts, I'm out of the house. After dealing with her as a 6-year-old, I can only imagine what it's going to be like, and that's her mother's problem. I'm not going to lie. I'm not even trying with that shit. I'm just not. Did send you a short. There'll be a new take on things in Discord. I'll have a look, man. Don't start. My little boy just turned 18 Tuesday. They grow too fast. Yeah, well, I mean, I was telling Lady Overlaw'd that, you know, if we'd had two, they'd be keeping each other occupied by now.
Alien. $5. I like summaries and highlights. We've seen this trial before. Highlight what's different and new strategies. Save hours of our lives.
That's fair. That's honestly fair. I'll see what I can do. Jason! 27 months. Holy shit, those numbers are really starting to get up there. Hey, Aaron. Kyle Jobs finally did a reply video to the lawsuit on the appeal. Oh, Jesus. And Jason's just dropped 10 memberships. Hang on, I'm going to have to turn off the monetization. Not that I was monetized in it now, anyway. Oh, shit. How do I do that? I'm logged in on the other account. If I switch accounts, how badly is that going to fuck things up? Doesn't matter because I still need to fix it one way or the other. There we go. Manage. Oh, I can do that. Just don't end the fucking stream. Okay. Edit. Customization, monetization. Monetization is off. Sweet. Thanks, legends. Had 4 boys and 1 girl. They're as bad as each other. Oh, shit. Met my niece for the second time last night. She's 4 months old and a very happy baby. Oh, that's lovely. Also, congratulations to everyone that got memberships. What do we got? Cherie, Lizbird, John Marie, Parabellum's in chat. Hello. Joan Feather, Psycho Doll, Rare in the History. Hello. Name X530. Ooh, that could be a new name. Hello. Chadwick Myers, Michael Stetson. I think that should be right. Doubling my YouTube news feeds. Excellent. That means that the notifications are actually going out, so I'm actually happy about that. All right, so what do I need to do? I need to actually exit out of that, I think. Because otherwise, is that going to double up? Then I think that's going to double up the feed. So, have two boys and they're angels. You're the bad one. Nice. Well, I mean, look. We know that for me and my siblings, there's 18 and 16 years apart between us anyway. So, I've seen what little girls growing up and then becoming teenagers has been. I'm not looking forward to it. But I mean, you know, why the fuck would I? It means that my little girl's growing up, so. But yes. Wait, what? Just to fuck with some lurkers more? Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Have you thought about doing that audiobook with yours and your wife's voice reading the book for sleepovers might help with anxiety? It's not a bad idea. Boys are worse than girls. Girls at least somewhat articulate their issues. Boys just punch, yell, and sulk. Well, that's kind of what Scarlett's doing at the moment. She sort of just gets mad, sulks, doesn't say what the issue is, and sort of slams a door. So. But, you know, them's the breaks of being a dad and being a parent and all that sort of stuff. Look, we all know that when you're a first-time parent, you learn everything as you're going. So, it's like constantly being at university and you're constantly getting tests. So, youngest, he's my youngest. Oldest is 27. Yikes.
Cakes boo. $7.99.
Thank you.
I wanted a sibling. My parents bought me a poodle. Problem solved.
A poodle? Really? Like, did you get to choose the breed? Like, I don't know why, but I've always just thought that poodles were like frou-frou little turds. But hey, to each their own. I'm not going to criticize or anything like that. I mean, look, we've got the Labrador, who hopefully still has another couple of years in her. The cat probably still has another 4 or 5. They keep going on and on about how they want a dachshund, and I'm like, I can't bring myself to do it. Personally, I want a bulldog. So, something changed on YouTube last year. I rarely get gifted memberships anymore. That name with the AI Aussie accent, I heard a completely different word of cake. Really? Let me try.
Cakes boo. Nah. They're the best.
Fuck you, now I can't help but hear it. Oh no. American Rottweilers are quite cute. Are they? Okay. Have an English bully. I think for obvious reasons I was going to get an American Bulldog. Because, you know, it's not like I could get a hold of a certain 2 other ones of them, so. How to do the math like 5 times to realise that, yeah, she's 27, damn, I'm old. That's fair enough. Don't do dachshunds, they're vicious. Only one boy, but I raised 3 of my nieces prior, and the boy so far has been much easier. Okay. I can't work out why I'm getting anxiety from not knowing how many people are watching. Hang on. I'm just going to fix that and ignore it. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, see, I'm annoyed because I can't do any of the found footage videos anymore because I realise that I'm getting copyright claim for all of them. Oh, hang on. I'm not actually monetized tonight, so it doesn't really matter. Emotional support potato pig dog. Love that idea. See, here's the stupid thing as well. I don't want people thinking that I'm hanging off, like I'm trying to milk anything, but Is it wrong that I still want to talk about him? I think I'm just paranoid because I've still got what Joe said to me in the back of my head. So, but anyway, sausage dog looks after one and only one. Well, I mean, look, if that sausage dog happens to look after my wife, it'll save me a lot of time and effort. So, there's only 10 of us watching. Don't worry. Oh, yay. Sorry, I just looked over and there's a found footage fest video that says tax season and it's a chick in a one-piece bikini. I'm like, what's the tax on that? Hey, Billy. What? Brachiocephalic dogs have breathing problems. You have trouble flying with them. Yeah. Hey, Kiwi Green. Happy Easter to you too. I missed a question from Aaron. Hang on. Going back, scrolling. What is your preferred airline from Australia to the US? Do you like Qantas? Asking because I'm a travel agent about to book for one of my clients. Aaron, I'll be perfectly honest. When I flew, I took the cheaper alternative, and because I wanted the full American experience, I actually fly United, or I have done both times that I've been to the US. I'm not a good example of a flyer though, because I'm twisted in the head or something like that. Not only did I fly both ways in jeans, but like I just sleep through it. Like I don't like, what was it? The trip to Vegas on the way, was it the way there on Vegas or was it the way there to Texas? One of the trips I flew the whole way there next to a woman with a baby and I didn't care. Like, so I'm probably not a great example of that. I haven't flown Qantas in quite some time. They are sort of the top rated airline here in Australia, but they are also currently being propped up by the government in terms of money. They did just have their 90-year anniversary for I think it was Wednesday. They had their 90-year anniversary. If they're going to fly Qantas, you're going to want to at least do the one step up from basic economy. Would be my recommendation. Okay. Sausage, got that. Oh, okay, right, because I scrolled back up to get the question. Okay. Love talking about him. Good. Hey! Sorry. I saw the name. I was like, hi! Oh, see, this is why I've got to... This is why I have to pull my ass out of bed and I need to be here for the nighttime streams my time. Because I'm seeing all the names that I don't usually get to see. And I'm not going to lie, I miss you guys, okay? Like, I appreciate the dedicated following that are willing to watch me drive from work to home at butt crack in the middle of the night in the US time. But holy crap if I don't miss the regulars as well. Like, and also thank you to everyone that watches the goddamn replay. I still can't believe that I wake up and, like, because when I'm doing those streams driving home, and especially if it's just me talking and there's like 40 people watching me in chat, and then I wake up the next morning and there's been 300 fucking views on one of those videos. It does make things a little bit better. So, thank you. Dogs with a short snout, Pinkinese, Bulldog, etc. Yeah. Watching Passion of the Christ this Sunday with some mates. Cool. I don't think I've actually ever seen it, but more power to you. Dogs with squishy faces, bulldogs, boxers, Frenchies. Oh my God. My grandmother had this amazing bulldog. Her name was Lady, and she was gorgeous. And then my grandfather passed, and things sort of went downhill, and she didn't really get taken care of, and she got fat, and then my dad found her dead with a head in a hole in the backyard. He took her for a walk and she barely made it around the block. Dog start golden retriever and go down from there. Not gonna lie. Oh, honestly, our Labrador is just, she is adorable. I mean, you guys have seen Angel. Mel was saying today she doesn't know what she's gonna do when she goes to the sky, because we scored very well in terms of her temperament and in terms of just how she is generally. So several channels used to receive memberships from that I no longer receive on no changes in settings. I think that YouTube just doesn't like rewarding certain people, Bell. So I know United well, thanks. I was curious. Their food isn't great. That's fair. And to be fair, I did pack a lot of my own snacks. Like, I still ate the food, but I mean, let's face it, I'll eat glass if it's covered in chili sauce. So that's a joke, people. YouTube, that was a bad joke. Best way to fly is a onesie. How the hell do you go to the toilet? Wife glitched out yesterday. The price finally sank in that near 1800 is spent on Tuesday for the liquid cooling gaming tower we're looking at with monitors yesterday. Oh, damn. Booking business class? Oh, yeah, that'll be fine then if you want to do Qantas. That should be perfectly fine. Personally never done it, always wanted to. It's kind of difficult for me to stay awake that late that night. No, I got your message, Jason. And look, dude, I get it. I really do. And honestly, you're a real one as well. Thank you so much for the help with the car the other day. Turns out I was just an overreacting dickhead, but because I don't know if you saw it, but I managed to get it into a mechanic, and he said, "No, you're a fucking retard. It's not an oil leak. It was condensation from the aircon." But I swear to God, I reached down, I touched it on the ground, I rubbed it between my fingers, and it was black. And then I put the guy down. No, but seriously, when I rubbed the liquid between my fingers, I thought it was oil. I genuinely did. But no, thank God. But I mean, what it did mean was that I was smart enough to at least check the level of the oil, put some more in, and I'm gonna get the car serviced. Like, I had to book like 2 weeks out or something like that. But lots of people are watching them on replay. I've seen a few people making comments in other chats. Really? Aww. Okay, this is going to sound really stupid and a little up myself, but to whoever's talking in other chats, thank you. Like, guys, I sit and watch other people's live streams all the time, and I rarely have the opportunity to chat, but I've never seen anyone talking about me. And I think the fact that I don't invite people on as guests and the fact that I don't really interact with anyone else anymore is why I feel like, don't get me wrong, I know I'm responsible for it. I know I am. But I think that's just why it's part of the reason why I feel like no one knows who I am anymore, if they ever did. So, but it's awesome that people are talking about me in chat. That's like, it's a little humbling. To be fair, listening to a guy talk to himself while he drives is good for falling asleep. You're very welcome. Edible glass is a thing, by the way. Yeah, but isn't it like the breakaway glass is made out of sugar? Somehow I feel like wearing a diaper on a plane would be extraordinarily uncomfortable. Apparently that one's not going to read either. What is going on with
Jacob and #039 S Proud Madre. $10. It's really good to see you. I hope you and the family are doing well. Happy Easter.
And a happy Easter right back to you. And look, the family are actually doing quite well. I mean, we're making everything work. Mel's enjoying a new job, and I can officially say that that's all been announced and whatever else, so I don't have to worry about that. She's now working at a competitor for her old job, which she was worried, well, I mean, I was worried, was going to throw a big cat amongst the pigeons. We'll see exactly how that pans out, so How are the stocks looking? Which stocks? Onesie with a buttoned back hatch. Oh, God. Just researching that, saw something about how Apple and Google are arguing over taking their respective cuts. You can send super chats over Apple products, but can't get or purchase memberships. Oh, no shit, really? Going to cost you 200 quid to service the car. Well, see, so because I purchased mine basically brand new, I purchased the demonstrator model. It still had the balance of like the 7-year warranty and the cap price servicing. Oh God, I missed that squirrel. Shit, what was I going to say? Yeah, I knew with the whole stuff going on in Canada that I was going to be running that car into the ground. So I'm very happy that I've got the cap price servicing and the remainder of the warranty on it. At some point, I'm probably going to switch it out for something. Oh my God, Camperdown got an electrical port, like a Tesla charger. I was like, holy shit balls. You know the town's getting bigger. They don't have McDonald's. They don't have Hungry Jack's. They don't have any sort of real takeaway food, but they've got a Tesla charging port. I was like, holy crap. Check out the new Anne Shirley anime adaptation. It's really good. I will have to take your word on that. I have no idea. Hey, been there, done that. Shannon, happy Easter to you too. Cola glass was the thing as a kid too. Oh, no shit. Passion of the Cross is brutal. Crucifixion is, that said, it's also a religious experience and a good one. Okay. Need to get you out having some collabs. At some point, I'd like to. Thank you, Aaron, for redeeming the dancing squirrel. Needed a dance to start your Friday. Always a good thing. A man who wants to compete in women's sports. Any advice? Sack up and compete against the men. Ooh, that might be one of the most controversial things that... No, can we talk about that for a second, actually? Because here's the thing. I've always said that I have no issue with transgenderism, okay? I believe that what you do to yourself or, well, frankly, to anyone else with consent, provided everyone is over the age of 18 and consenting, whatever you do behind your own closed doors is entirely up to you, okay? When it comes to sports, I genuinely believe that if that is the circumstances, there should be separate individual leagues. I don't believe that it should be men competing in women's sports or women competing in men's sports. I believe that there should be a complete and utter separate league, not legal. Because I don't think it's fair to either gender or sex or whatever else you want to call it. But the other thing as well is that I saw that the UK High Court has officially announced that women is purely... God, I don't even want to use the phrase cis women. And everyone's touting it as a big win and all that sort of stuff. And I'm very happy for the people that won their case. But you cannot tell me that the UK government is not now going to be scrambling to rush through legislation to amend that. So, as much as I think that's a win for individuals protecting their own rights and that sort of thing, I think we're very much going to see that overruled very quickly. So, what do Aussies traditionally do? Easter, paint eggs, stuff like that. Well, I mean, the good old days when... I mean, I've never been particularly religious, okay? We know this. I've said that multiple times. Admittedly, I grew up for a while there in a Catholic household with my grandparents. My family is Christian, I think. My wife's family was very religious. I'm sort of still... Well, again, we had that conversation a few months ago, is that I still don't know where I sit. I'm very much on the fence. I don't know but the point is, Australia was founded as a Christian country, so it was very much Easter eggs, church service, Easter Bunny handing out chocolates, all that sort of stuff. And a lot of that's going by the wayside. Like, Lady Overlaw'd told me an interesting anecdote yesterday. Today. She went to somewhere, I'm not going to name places, whatever else. Point is, she was engaging someone for a service. Wow, that sounds really bad. She was buying something. And the, shall we say, non-citizen Australian who was serving her basically asked her, so what's your heritage? Are you a true blue Aussie? And she said yes. And he said, so what are you doing for Easter then? And she said, well, we're going to do, the Easter Bunny will come, leave some eggs for our daughter, and then we'll do an Easter egg hunt. And apparently, in this broken accent, he goes, what, like in the movies? It's your culture, even if you don't necessarily believe in the spirituality of it. And yes, and a good example of that is what I basically, again, going back to Joe, when we were talking about the religious aspect of weddings and how, you can still have culturally, you can still know that you're going to grow up, you're going to, marry someone, that they're going to be in a wedding dress on the day and all that sort of stuff. But yeah. And I mean, if people want to turn around and tell me that I have no culture, I'm going to fucking start backhanding people. But no, so Sunday will be admittedly probably more exciting for Scarlett, but I think that's more the case of what's happening with things like Christmas as well. Because certain aspects of our culture are being stripped away, whether they be religious or secular aspects or whatever else, it's basically turning into something that a lot of people don't deal with well, shall we say. It's more just, it becomes about kids getting gifts and, maybe they act a little spoiled or maybe they whatever else. So, but I mean, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sitting down and explaining to my daughter what the meaning of Easter is, what the story is, what it means to people, and why it's important to respect it. And if she decides that she's going to be religious like her mother down the track, I have no issues with that whatsoever. But I'm certainly not going to be the one that dissuades her of that either. But to answer your question, yes, we still do the painting of the eggs, although I don't know that my wife knows how to do that, so I might have to be the one that does that with Scarlett. Which means I'm probably going to have to go out and buy some eggs tomorrow and one of those little, drawing and stencil kits. Wish me luck. Oh my God. And the Easter Bunny was supposed to be bringing her a new scooter this year as well. Because a couple of years ago, we didn't want the Easter Bunny bringing a lot of chocolate. And so we got her, the Easter Bunny brought her a Paw Patrol scooter. Lady Overlaw'd and I thought we were being really slick and talking in code today. About when we were going to go out tomorrow to go and pick up a new one because she's outgrown it. She steps on it, the wheels splay out. It does, she's going to break it, and I'm worried she's going to hurt herself. Hey, Paul. Happy Easter to you too, buddy. And we thought we were being really slick. I was spelling out words. I was using, I called Easter Bunny a bipedal mammal. Things that you don't think your kid's going to understand. And then after dinner, Lady Overlaw'd says to me, so what are the plans for tomorrow? And Scarlett pops her head around the corner from her bedroom. She goes, yeah, when are we going to go and get the scooter? And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? She's like, you and Mummy were talking about it before, that I'm going to get a new scooter. And I'm like, oh, fuck. That gravy train's gone. The days of being able to trick her by like spelling out words or swapping things around, yeah, that's not working anymore. So, which is a little disappointing. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question as to what we traditionally do on Easter. I mean, look, if I were more religious, we'd probably go to a morning service. I'm probably happy just sitting and watching religious cartoons after the Easter Bunny comes. So, with the UK Supreme Court decision, how does that affect Australia? Not in the slightest, honestly. Peter! How's it fair to become a medical burden on the public and private health systems based on feelings? Honestly, I don't necessarily believe that it is, but until people get their fingers out of their asses. So, oh god, and I did have to laugh. There was a video on X, and it was a passable trans woman, and basically she had dressed herself up. She was basically trying to make herself look really slutty, and the tagline was, "Ladies, how do you feel now knowing that I'll be in the same space as your men?" And I was like, you get that all men in the locker room or in the toilets are gonna know, right? Like, because you're only in there because you're not allowed in the ladies' room. So you get that men are immediately gonna know, right? She was passable, Carlos. I wouldn't go there personally. Not my type, not my whatever else. But it was still kind of obvious. And honestly, like, anyway. I think I'm looking forward to this time beyond seeing the families. Biblical documentaries are normally shown, but there's none showing on TV today. Yeah, nope. Completely gone. Too commercialized. I agree with you on that. Freedom of religion in the US via our founding fathers' choice is meant denomination, not all religions. People don't put it into context. Okay. Remember using onion skins to dye eggs back in school. Really? Note to self, never talking Coda and kids. Nope, just don't do it. Took my daughter to see the Easter Bunny when she was little. She screams. It was like an oversized rat to her. Oh, honestly, the first time that that she met Santa at the mall, she bawled. I think I wound up having to Photoshop the photos just so I could give one to my parents. Making an Easter hunt with riddles on how to find the next note and clue pointing to the next note can be a fun thing. At the end, you have the Easter eggs with candy. That sort of stuff is really fun. Takes a lot of friggin' effort, though, which I'm not going to lie, I'm being a little bit slack at the moment, but we know this. We'll see what happens. Tradition was to take the boys to the zoo at Easter. Oh, cool. X and I speak in Japanese when we want to say something our daughter can't understand, although she's getting better with the language, so that won't last long. Fair enough. Suggest you and the wife use text messages to communicate. That's actually not a bad idea. Only trouble is she knows the code to my phone. If anyone calls me cis woman, I won't be very ladylike. That's fair. Not amazing how many people seem to think that the Limey set Australian laws. That is, of course, when Tim Pool are not trying to claim Australia doesn't have a constitution. Tim Pool tried to say Australia doesn't have a constitution? Are you serious? Did Az comment nice rack? No idea. When I realised Santa wasn't at my school, I went home, grilled my mum on it. When she finally admitted Santa wasn't real, I screamed at her and called her a liar and ran into my room. Oh, that sucks. Aww. Learn a sigh, she'll have trouble. learning that. Hang on. Okay, I'm just going to have a... Yes, for those of you wondering, I am murdering my keyboard. Oh, I was so hoping that that'd just be a clip that I could look at. That would have been so funny. Wait, is that? Oh, for some reason I thought that was Colonel Kurtz. I did see that a whole bunch of people are winding up on Tim Pool's show as well, which is interesting. I think Brunk is supposed to be on there today or tomorrow or something like that as well. We was joking, it was even worse because he was talking to Sydney Watson at the time. Oh no. Seriously? Okay. Cracking the fingers so I can get into teacher mode here. Look, two things I'll say. Technically, the Australian Constitution is a British Act of Parliament. That changed, though, when we actually ratified our own Constitution. And no, UK laws do not anymore filter down or apply to Australia or Canada, for that matter, people, just so you're aware. Whilst the US, Australia and Canada and a bunch of other Commonwealth-based countries did adopt a shit ton of the UK's jurisprudence, mainly because when we were establishing our countries, there were no other laws to do so. Once each country sort of cut the tie, cut the cable, cut the umbilical, whatever you want to call it, we all started developing our own laws, our own case law, our own jurisprudence, our own everything else. Yes, American legal system has diverged more significantly than anybody else, mainly because you guys did write the Constitution, which, holy fuck, I wish we'd done something similar. I don't want them to do it now, and there are people that are pushing it now because, you know, Charles and all that sort of shit, and, you know, do we want to continue to be a constitutional monarchy and all that sort of crap? I do not want the current state of Australia to be the ones writing a constitution. Are you fucking kidding me? Frank is on today at 11 a.m. Holy shit balls. Paul, thank you so much, buddy. That should have had a whole bunch of sound effects and shit. I don't know why I didn't.
$50. To help with the scooter or tasty snacks.
Very much appreciate that. Nope, that's the wrong rain. It's supposed to be raining money. I don't know, half this shit breaks when I'm not even on the computer. Are you still called a Dominion? I don't believe so. So the last real thing that we had, so we've still got the Governor General, who is the Crown representative, and she does technically have the power to dissolve the Australian government, but that's only on the request of the Australian Parliament. If there's a deadlock or if there's basically if it's a hung Parliament and no one can get anything done. It's a purely ceremonial position, though. It's not like Charles can come in and start ordering things around. Why do Australian Canucks pledge to the King and Queen? Because we are still technically a constitutional monarchy. Look at it this way. If I had to explain it this way, America, Canada, and Australia, and New Zealand for that matter, are the four kids of the UK that still talk to the parents. Okay, we've all moved out, but to lesser extents, we're in contact with the family. Okay, the US is the independent eldest child that decided that they want nothing to do with mum and dad, completely cut off. Met a French girl, they were very happy. Okay, and they've gone down their own line, but they still hold many of the same beliefs and the value system as was moved over at the time. Australia and New Zealand, we're the youngest. We're still in touch with mum and dad. We still occasionally get pocket money. That's a bad way of putting that because we don't actually get any money from the UK as far as I'm aware. Still send us Christmas cards. Exactly. Canada used to be the Dominion of Canada that went out when we got our own flag and constitution. Yeah. It's pretty much what it boils down to. So, That French girl was fun at the time. Yeah, but now she's had a couple of Arabs run a train on her, and she's not looking so hot, you know. Oh, I'm gonna regret that. Did you hear about Gora graduating from Hollow Live? Last I saw, the Hollow Live stock price had dropped 10% after it. VTuber, she has the biggest super chat owner in the world. Really? Honestly, Jaron, I barely understand half of what you just said, so I'm gonna take your word for it, dude. When I was 18, took my ma to get a pic with the Easter Bunny. We sat on his lap, and afterwards she cried. Doesn't the Australian Constitution allow itself to be usurped during times of emergency like Canada's Charter of Rights? No. Hang on. Make sure I'm not going to show off my ass here. For anyone ever wondering if I actually do practice law, by the way, there's a whole bunch of law books in the back of there, including the Constitution. I mean, to be fair, this is very old. Well, I mean, it's a 20-year-old copy, but it's not like they've updated it since. The Constitution as enforced the 1st of June 2003, together with the proclamation declaring the establishment of the Commonwealth, letters patent relating to the office of the Governor-General, the Statute of Westminster Adoption Act, and the Australia Act of 1986. The Australia Act, by the way, is the one that basically cut the remaining ties that we had to the UK. That's when we said, okay, from now on, the High Court cannot make any sort of appeal to the Privy Council, which there was no real point. Because if you get to the High Court, it's already the top court in the land. We're already still... There was no real point having an additional level of appeal anyway. All right, where are we? Separation of powers, federal structure, Commonwealth Parliament, recommend... Common market... See, by the way, people, for those of you here in Australia, just so you're aware, sections 121 and 124 do allow us to create new states. So, you know, for those of us that aren't particularly happy with Victoria or New South Wales or whatever else, there's easier ways than, for example, trying to be the Hutt River Province and pretending that you're not part of Australia. Where are we? Proclamation of the Commonwealth. Legislative power, salary of the Governor-General, provisions relating to the Governor-General, sessions of Parliament, establishment of the Senate, powers of the Parliament, appropriation bills, recommendations. Shit, now I've got to remember how the fuck this actually works. The only thing that I'm aware of that the King's representative, which is the Governor-General, can do is dissolve Parliament, and even that has to have... so in order for there to be a double dissolution of Parliament, there is a very specific process that has to be in place. Basically, at the very least, I think a piece of legislation has to be put to Parliament and denied 3 times, I think, from memory. Hang on, let me see if it's in here. I mean, it should be in here. Minister State, numbers of ministers, salaries of ministers, appointment of civil servants, command of Navy and military forces, transfer of certain departments, finance and trade. There was a time that I used to be able to tell you exactly what each section of this was. God, that was a good 25 odd years ago. Holy crap. Be safe, Deanna. Application of the Colonial Boundaries Act. Is it just under Section 2? Sorry, Part 2, I should say. Commonwealth shall be established, and the Constitution of the Commonwealth shall take effect on and from the day so appointed. Parliaments of the several colonies may at any time after the passing of the Act make any such laws to come into operation on that day, so appointed as might have, as if they made, if the Constitution had taken effect at the passing of that Act. Governor General appointed by the Queen shall be appointed by the Queen, so not the sovereign. Wow, we might actually have to have a referendum now that I think about it. Anyway, shall be Her Majesty's representative in the Commonwealth, and shall have and may exercise in the Commonwealth during the Queen's pleasure, but subject to this Constitution, such powers and functions of the Queen as Her Majesty may be pleased to assign him. That's funny. Yearly session of Parliament. This is actually really going to freaking annoy me now, because I'm not going to be able to sleep until I work this out. Unless maybe it was part of the Australia Act. Electoral divisions, qualifications, application of state laws, general elections. Disqualification. Disputed elections. Privileges of the House. You want to talk about privileges of the House? I sat down and went through Anthony Albanese's expense report last week. I am pissed the fuck off. No, the grey's still there. It just, when I shave it a little bit closer, it doesn't look as prominent. Oh, there it is. Section 57. If the House of Representatives passes any proposed law and the Senate rejects or fails to pass it, or passes it with amendments to which the House of Representatives will not agree, and if an interval of 3 months of the House of Representatives in the same or next session again passes the proposed law with or without any amendments which have been made, suggested, or agreed to by the Senate, and the Senate rejects or fails to pass it, or passes it with amendments to which the House will not agree, the Governor General may dissolve the Senate and the House of Representatives simultaneously, double dissolution. But such dissolution shall not take place within 6 months before the date of the expiry of the House of Representatives by a fluxion of time. So if it's within 6 months of the next election anyway, the Governor-General can't do it. The members present at the joint sitting may deliberate and shall vote together upon any proposed law as last proposed by the House of Representatives, and upon amendment, if any, which have been made therein by one House and not agreed by the other, and any such amendments which are affirmed by an absolute majority of the total number of the members, shall have been taken to have been carried, and if the proposed law with the amendments, if so, is carried and affirmed by an absolute majority of the total numbers of the members of the House and the Representatives, it shall taken to pass duly by both Houses of the Parliament, and shall be presented to the Governor-General for the Queen's assent. Basically, so the Queen's representative, the King's representative, well, fuck it, the Crown's representative has very specific powers. Basically, rubber stamping any bills that pass both parliaments, both the House of Representatives and the Senate, and in a very specific circumstance, the dismissal of both houses. And as I just read there, they go through every process they can to avoid that happening. It's literally, if the lower house passes something and the upper house denies it, they then within a 3 month, was it within a 3 month? No, after an interval of 3 months, they have to wait 3 months. If they then pass the law again and the Senate knocks it back, they then put both houses of Parliament in the same room, and on the full majority of all of the people sitting, so you get all the members of the House of Representatives and the Senate in the same room. If they pass it, it's taken to have passed both houses. So they literally do everything they can to restrict the power of the Crown to dissolve Parliament. Sorry about that. I know I went off on a massive tangent there that was probably completely unnecessary. Oh, shit, I forgot about that. Section 59. Disallowance by the Queen. The Queen may disallow any law within 1 year from the Governor-General's assent, and such disallowance of being made known by the Governor-General by speech or message to the House of Representatives or the proclamation shall another law. Oh, okay, so technically the Queen does have a veto right. How did I forget about that? Anyway. Now I need to debate what to make for Easter breakfast. Bacon, eggs, Chocolate chip pancakes. You should be fine. America's the kid that thinks the parents are crazy but still like them somewhat. Yeah, basically what it boils down to. Had a Declaration of Independence? Yes, you did. Technically, our Declaration of Independence was a soft Declaration of Independence, and again, it was the passing of the Australia Act in 86. An AI OnlyFans model is making 20 to 30k a month being an AI girlfriend. That doesn't shock me in the slightest. Canada doesn't allow the ignoring of rights either. Trudeau was found guilty of misuse of power, not that they did a damn thing. Oh, no shit, really? Didn't mean to open this can of worms, just remembering the Canadian truckers convoy that they suspended certain charter of rights to persecute the truckers. No, so our Charter of Rights, specifically here in Victoria, we have the Charter of Human Rights and Obligations, by the way, which is one of the biggest scam crocker shits on the face of the planet. The government enforces it when it's in their benefit to. Okay, it's literally one of the first sections of it is to say that if any other law is in conflict from this and it is to be passed by the Parliament, all they have to do is include a paragraph that says this law is inconsistent with the Charter of Human Rights and Responsibilities. That's it. And the whole thing goes out the window, and it just does not apply to that law. And the government basically, like I said, they pick and choose when they want that to apply and when they don't. It's full of shit. You got emancipated. Yep. Another question now that I'm into it, will they ever let the NT become its own state? And what is like the red-headed stepchild of a nation? Well, Tasmania for starters. No, I don't believe that the Northern Territory ever will be a state. It's a territory for a very specific reason, as is the Australian Capital Territory. It will forever be under federal jurisdiction. So, for those of you that don't know the difference here in Australia, the states and territories do enjoy different levels of, shall we say, rights. The Northern Territory and the Australian Capital Territory are subject to every federal law. So, like here in Victoria, we've got the State Crimes Act, and then you've also got the Federal Crimes Act, okay? You can be found guilty of a crime under both, obviously, but certain ones are considered to be the avenue of the state, basically. Any residual powers that aren't specifically mentioned in Section 51 of the Constitution are supposed to fall back to the state. The territories, because they are considered federal land and are under federal jurisdiction, they have one court. They have, well, I mean, they've got the local and then they've got the Supreme Court, but they don't really have like any middle ground courts. And basically, they're subject to declarations made by the federal parliament. On the one hand, it can be good. On the other hand, it can be quite disastrous. Personally, from my own experience, but also my own interpretation of things. So, trucker thing was Trudeau making up his own rules. High Court said he was wrong, but nothing happened to him or anyone else. Think San Fran, yes, you stole, but we're not going to do anything. Sounds about right. Imagine if Ned Kelly didn't let that teacher go. So he's still ruled by the crown. Look, technically, but it's more... You know when Grandpa thinks he's still the head of the family, but he doesn't really make any decisions? And like everyone just sort of lets him believe that he's in charge? It's basically what we're doing with King Charles. Is that why we have so many Aussies working in bars in the summer? I find it very weird that Australians go to the UK. I think that's going to dry up very quickly in the coming months, weeks, years, whatever else. Wait, what? Whoever's removing what I say, I'll take that out on Hayden. I have to unjoin this place. Doc, I think you'll find that that is not one of the mods. I'm not seeing anything on the back end, so that means that it's YouTube's removing it before it's even getting to me. UK is a great base for those that want to travel around Europe. But is it as much given that they're not part of the European Union anymore? I've never understood how that works, like the open borders and all that sort of stuff. Does your law license allow you to practice anywhere in Australia or only in your state? So that's an interesting question. So I technically have 2 law licenses. I have my state one, and I applied for admission and was granted admission to the High Court of Australia. So I technically can practice in any federal court in Australia, and I can also practice in any court here in Victoria. There is mutual recognition between Victoria and New South Wales, so I can also practice in any court in New South Wales. Queensland, South Australia, and Western Australia, can't think of any reason I'd want to anyway. As I said, Northern Territory, because they're federal, I could just walk straight in because it's considered federal. UK was never part of, so they had border control even when they were part of the EU. Oh, no shit. There you go. Hey, see, Winterstorm. YouTube goes certain words and maybe certain context. Maybe. You know, it just hit me that I've got more issues saying the F word than I do the C word, by which I don't mean fuck, I mean the other F word. So YouTube censoring German slurs? Really? No clue. Well, yeah, look, I will say it once and for all, for anyone that is getting censored or that's getting pissed off about it. Doc, thank you for being here. If you do choose to leave as a result of that, look, I can't stop you. I'm just going to say it's not my doing, and from what I can tell, it's none of the mods. I generally try and keep a very open forum here. Aside from like the banned word list, which frankly chat was all involved in, I'm voting on the words just because they all appear on the screen here. But I mean, theoretically, it shouldn't be stopping you from posting anything. But you know, best of luck. Alrighty, where are we? Oh shit, it's already 11 o'clock. Ooh, hang on, what time is it in, Hey, Bush. Carlos, why are you spelling out apple? Is that a new thing? Oh shit! It's only 8 o'clock in. I'm not gonna stay live for another 4 hours. Fuck that. I mean, I love you guys, but I don't know that I can do that. Oh, what's that? What notification is that? Oh, that's what I was going to ask. The goat cam. I knew there was something there. People are really enjoying that, aren't they? I'm just trying to work out how best to, like, do I need to strap a GoPro to the dog? I mean, all you're going to see is like a sideways view of my house. So 6 a.m. on the west coast in Canada. Hey, Kurt. Would you like to talk about watches? I'm going to watch Kick right now. Let's talk about watches. What watches do you own? What do you like? I will be perfectly honest, Kurt. I am very unsophisticated when it comes to watches. I don't currently own one. I use this for my timekeeping and all that sort of shit. I've been looking at getting a smartwatch. I was actually looking at get this. When I went in to upgrade the phones, guys, I could have gotten like a Galaxy Watch 5, but the only goddamn thing that would come with it was an olive green band or like a silver one that made it look like it was very feminine. And I was like, okay, I get why you're giving these away, but this is still like a $1,500 piece of technology. I'm pretty sure you could, I don't know, have some spare bands on hand. Like, change the band on most watches. Yeah, no, I know, but the face of it as well was olive green, and I was like, you know what? I think I can probably source my own. It's actually how Viva Fry started his YouTube stardom. Viral video of a squirrel in his backyard in Montreal. I think I've seen that actually. From memory. They want you to set up a puppy cam. Haven't even been able to find you. However, seldom have electricity in my country. Either load shedding or breakages. No maintenance for 30 years. Jesus, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I'm just going to buy aftermarket. Look, it was purely because I was going to throw it in as part of the, like the monthly plan. I was like, you know, maybe I could actually make do with it, but it was so ugly. And I didn't think that the reviews on the Pro 5 were all that good, especially, I mean, they're giving away the 5 and they're up to what, the 7 now? So never spent more than $40 on a watch. No, that's fair enough. And honestly, Kurt, I'd be more than happy to talk watches. I actually do find them interesting. I've still got to work out how to, like, get guests in on the fly. Shit, what was I going to say? Oh, because I do enjoy watching that guy, the Chinese guy that breaks them down and repairs them. Like I think he mostly does YouTube shorts, but he breaks them down, goes in the little machine, spins around, like uses the tweezers. I adore that sort of shit. That's honestly, it's amazing for ASMR and that sort of thing to help me fall asleep. Had my phone running low a couple of times, ducked into Big W, bought a $12 to $18 watch, ducked out. Ducked over the key cutter and changed the band to a metal one. Looks like a $100 watch now. Sweet. Got the Samsung watch as it does monitor my heart. That's the main reason that I was thinking about it, Gemini. Mainly because I was trying to piss off the wife. Because you guys know that, you know how chat decided that they would, you know how you guys said that, hey, maybe it'd be okay if you had a heart monitor on for when you're watching trials and shit like that. Well, she said no for obvious reasons, but I'm still thinking about it. Oh my god! And I found this in the cupboard today as well. For those of you that don't remember, I know it says massager, ladies. Before you go getting excited, I promise you, it's not what you think it is. It's the electric stimulator, pregnancy simulator thing that I never actually got around to using on one of my drinking streams. I opened the drawer and Scarlett was like, "Oh, what's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, just you wait and see." I stuck the thing on my arm and I did the whole thing with my hand curled up like this, and I was like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing this in front of the kid." Oh, that could be taken so many ways wrong. But have you seen the carpet cleaner channels? Holy fuck, those rugs completely different when they clean them. Oh yeah, no, I've seen those ones. Where someone like brings it in, it looks like a rag that's been swimming in a mud puddle and whatever else, and like they clean it up and it looks like it's a brand new one, and it's, you know, Thomas the Tank Engine or some shit like that. I love those sorts of things. Way back in the day when I was younger, used to own a pocket watch because old Western movies thought they were cool. If I thought I could get away with a pocket watch, I would absolutely do that. She'll love that when she hits puberty. Oh, very funny. If you could get a lie detector, it'd be awesome to have a live lie detector during trial streams. Why? I don't have anything to lie about during a trial stream, unless it's, you know, for whether or not I'm going to be swearing. Oh, really? They help with cramps, do they? Oh. Oh, there you go. I mean, I know it says pain relief on the side of the box. Like, recommended massage points. Muscle massager for body relaxation. Relax anytime, anywhere. Oh yeah, okay, I can see it. Yeah. The ones on the stomach and on the back. I mean, the whole idea was that I was just going to turn this on and crank it up to the max, but never really got a using. So that's all right. If that's the case, I'll might help with my leg thing. Oh, I doubt that. Wait, do you mean like the nervous twitching or the foot pain? Good God, could you imagine if it's supercharged the leg and I'm sitting here bouncing around like this? Hook your phone into your... Oh, for God's sake, Stingy. So... Where did that... Oh, damn, I kind of still wanted to actually see what that thing about the chick in the bikini was. But it's gone. Oh, well. Oh, please don't do that, Grifter. Come on. Please don't do that. We've already had one lawyer go down the path of using sex toys and shit. I don't think we need any more of that on the internet, do we? It'll help with the foot pain if placed correctly. I can't tell if you're shitting with me or not. I kind of feel like the muscles contracting is what causes the pain, though. So I'm not sure I want to give that a go and risk it, if I'm perfectly honest. Oh, God, what'd you send me? Oh, God.
Get some water real quick. You can talk to chat for a second. Chat, don't get me
Okay.
banned. And then we're gonna go have you be a volunteer mod for the day.
So, chat. You like saying slurs?
Jesus Christ. That was Pipkin Pippa. Yes, that was Fillion going for a break and Pipkin going, so you like slurs? Fuck you, Stingy. Oh, God. But no, that actually, it's a tensing that's causing you need the muscle to get to relax, which tensing helps. Oh, okay. Well, look, I'll talk to my physio and see if it's a good idea. So, try not screwing around with you that do help with lower back pain. Oh, fuck, I'm gonna regret this. Okay, hang on. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Because I can feel the pain in my foot anyway. Hello, Loopy. Happy Festivus to you too. I can't walk for the rest of the weekend. I'm blaming you. Power on. Oh, no shit. It does have, like... It does show that you can put it on a foot. Ooh, don't know how I feel about that. I can't tell if that's helping or not. Like... my toe feels like it's on fire, but the top of the foot where it was painful. I'm not on the highest setting. It's literally on the second lowest setting. Holy shit, if this works, oh my god. No, I know. I don't believe that anyone was ever trying to do anything wrong with the heart monitor. It's all good. That is so weird. Like, don't get me wrong, whenever I put it on my arm, obviously I've cranked it straight up to the maximum, but on a low setting, that seems to have actually made a difference. I thought they were full of shit. That's why I bought this thing off Temu. Alright, I'm taking it off. I'm taking it off. Oh, that feels so funky. That's either going to really help or it's going to make it so much worse. Oh, I should probably actually disconnect the power leads, shouldn't I? Try and do something stupid there. Last thing I need is for the house to go up. Or because of a... Shit, I think this thing was only like $10 as well. Temu Chinese torture device. I said to Lady Overlaw'd earlier today that I need to just record the pair of us just like going and spending a bunch of money on Temu and then just recording the results. And she's like, "What would you buy on Temu?" I'm like, "You have not spent enough time on Temu." I don't know, Boosh. Will it affect my integrity if I watch it? Where are we? Never mind. Hey, Brian. Long time no see. Hang on. Let me see if I can pull this up without... We'll see. We'll see. It's whether or not I can stay awake, basically. Temu was dangerous. Temu was very dangerous. As breathing exercise you can do on YouTube in 1 minute, they can bring your heart rate back down to normal. Oh, no shit. Okay. Best thing I've ever been using one for 10 years for neuropathy. Oh, no shit. I'm not gonna lie. The only thing that I did with one of these, was I turned a chick that I know that does OnlyFans into a doll. Oh, that sounds really bad. That's not what I mean, I made one of these dolls and I just titled it Cosplay Slut. Oh, shit. Now I'm going to have to try and find that fucking clip, aren't I? Alright, hang on. Oh, seriously? How are all of these clips like 6 minutes? Oh, 49 seconds.
How many lights do you see there?
Yeah, don't at me about it. It was a bad choice of words. Poor choice of words.
You see 4 lights? No. There are 5. You're quite sure? There are 4 lights. I don't enjoy this, but I must demonstrate. It will make everything clearer. I asked how many lights you see. There are 4 lights. I don't understand how you can be so mistaken.
Oh shit, I just noticed the captions on it. Well, that really didn't work. Oh well. Fuck it, doesn't matter. Just another day. Look at my Discord memes. Oh god. Nightmare neighbor finally gets what he deserves. Thank you, Megan. She'll have to save that one to the body cam. Scrolling it. God damn it, Dazzle! I'm gonna share with the claws. Just give me a second. Okay, that wasn't what made me laugh though. But I will say, just while we're on top of this, okay, I think my favorite reaction to this whole the women going and pretending to be astronauts for 8 minutes. I mean, the collective amount of Botox on that, the collective amount of like lip filler and Botox on that flight. I mean, if they'd crashed, nothing would have burnt up. But my favorite reaction to this was, oh, Katy Perry's saying she's an astronaut because she went up into space for 8 minutes? I guess that makes me a gynecologist. I was like, oh my God, dude, seriously? But anyway, this is what made me laugh. Fucking desert. Honestly, Sheree, at the moment, the Discord server isn't much of anything. At this point, it's basically a notification service. If you'd like to, you can join the Underlords, but it's mainly just if you want to get notifications. So... Oh no. I love you guys so much sometimes. Like, I really do. Oh, shit. Paralegal Liz, hello? Transportation Secretary put out a statement saying they don't meet the FAA definition of astronaut. No, I get that. And what was freaking hilarious as well is that in order to make the argument that they were, someone like put a community note on one of those X posts and said, here's a link to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. They fulfill that. I'm like, don't care. Do not care in the slightest. difference between Shatner and these ladies was the reaction doing it. Shatner was much more humbled and demure. Did we honestly think any of those ladies was ever going to be humbled and demure about anything? So, I want the Def Leopard toy. What? I don't get it. This could just be because I'm not. I don't know. It was an ad for Botox. It could well have been, honestly. Video I put in Discord is this dude that got caught. Oh, is that what that was? Well, I kind of want to save that, which does remind. All right, I'll have a look at the Robocop thing in a minute. What I do want to say, guys, is that for those of you that have been enjoying the car streams, thank you very much. I do, however, want to say that if anyone has any longer videos, because I need to actually start planning out content, surprisingly. Because even on the car streams, like I can just get in the car and start talking or whatever else, but it's significantly better if I have some sort of idea as to what I'm doing. Now that I've fixed up the fact that I'm actually able to play videos and control them and all that sort of shit, so, you know. See, now I feel like I'm being left out and I have to work this out myself. Okay, I get that he lost his arm, but why is it funny? Like, I'm sure it is, but I just need to know. Could have been worse. I'm sure it could have been. So, where are we? There was something that I had. Okay, Boosh, that one's good. That's good. Am I planning to cover the Camry retrial on the driving streams? Yes, as much as I can, although it may well be that we do opening, closings, recaps. I don't know. Guys, I'm going to do my absolute utmost to do what I can when I can, but I'm never going to be able to do it live or up to date. So, can use my true crime ones if you like. I've done one about the removal of double jeopardy. I'm interested in your legal perspective. Thank you. Okay, yep. Why are ball days funny? They just are. Okay, you know what? Can we talk about that for a minute? I thought it was a gag. I'm not gonna lie. So, I think the fact that people took that really seriously might say a little bit more about other people. But anyway, where are we? Current assisting creative photorealistic action figure. Oh, see, I can't show the cosplay slot one because people are going to know exactly who it is. I did see the Ashley St. Clair one. I've seen a couple of Ashley St. Clair ones, actually. There's, hang on, let me see if I can. All right, let's have a look. Jesus Christ. Oh no. Oh, come Come on. No, see, the funny thing is, anytime I ask Grok or any, like, anytime I ask Grok or any AI to create a picture of me, either it comes out as a kangaroo or I come out as a crotchety old man in his 80s. Is that really what I sound like? Holy shitballs. Oh. Suck on it, Sizzle. This is why he faked a sex scandal in order for people to believe that he was straight. It's on clearance. Wait, Billy, you don't know who Harry Sisson is? Prominent left-wing dick sucker of Joe Biden on X, basically. Had Grok use a photo of me to make an anime version, ended up looking like Ray from the real Ghostbusters. Yeah, don't do that. Instagram baddie action figure, complete with Plan B eviction notice. Accountability not included. That's funny. That's funny. I like that. Oh, hang on. No, for those of you that are wondering, Harry Sisson is this little turd. He was very prominent on X. He's considered an influencer, but hell, so am I. So, like, seriously, this guy yesterday said MAGA's falling apart right before our eyes, and I'm enjoying every moment of it. Like, he's just such a little fuckwit. Like, if I met him on the street, I would want to smack him in the mouth. So, but anyway, back to enjoying this. I love that it comes with an ear mattress as well. That's funny. See, this action figure should come with like a mini Harry Sisson right there. That would work, in my opinion. Economics for dummies. Tax the rich dress and protest megaphone. Oh, God. Who pays him now that USAID's been dismantled? That's why I think that's why I haven't seen him posting on X or making such big what do you call it? Such big posts or anything like that. Don't scroll live Twitter. Well, international beggar. Oh, fuck. That's fucking clever. Like, someone put a lot of effort into that. That's funny. Got the crack pipe, got the drugs, got the money, got the smokes. Wait, what was that? Ukrainian Ukrainian natural oil and gas for dummies. Oh. Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna scroll past that one. Oh, fuck. The Big Mike action figure. That's funny. Oh, come on. Oh, they got Megan pretty well, didn't they? Oh, the Elon one's pretty cool. It comes with a flamethrower. Huh. Anxious liner. Oh, God. Huh. Oh, who cares? It's just boobs. Hot nurse action figure. How much? It's not bad. I just... Homeopathy action figure. Diluted water. Memory of substance. Placebo power. Oh, Jesus, Larry, how you doing, buddy? Holy shit. Thanks for dropping by. Shit, what was I... Fuck, actually, there was something I was going to ask you about, because you were, you were having a go at that chick on Court TV. Shit. That has completely run out of my mind now. Oh, that's funny. They got the Amber Heard one bad. That's good. Okay, some of these are good. Some of these are just... Okay, that one's better. I'm loving these. I really am. Like... What was it? Because I saw the difference in, because someone put the two videos of the AI making Will Smith eat spaghetti side by side, and you saw how like ridiculous and janky it was the first time around, and like seeing how far it's come. It's not going to be that long where shit on the internet's going to be pretty well irreplaceable. That's, well, sorry, no, not irreplaceable. Pretty much everything is going to be replaceable. That's what I was saying the other night about the about Hollywood, and how really I'm fairly confident in my opinion. I do kind of feel like their days are numbered, because once we work out how to use AI consistently and replicate assets consistently, you're going to be able to... Oh, no shit, she changed her tune? Oh damn. Okay, because I saw how that was playing out. I was curious, if I'm perfectly honest. Shit, hang on. Where did... Okay, that I can't show on stream, that's for sure. Okay, the gopher and the dog's quite funny. I'm getting distracted. So the microdots video from the 23rd of May. Look, I may well have. I cannot remember for the life of me. There's a whole because oh shit. Hang on. So where was that? That was. So what actually was it that he said that pissed her off? She was either bought by the anti-free Karen Reid or decided it was better content to be the devil's advocate. Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I think a bunch of us sort of assume that Court TV and Law and Crime are going to be surprisingly titled short before they got to Julie, Karen Reid was framed. Okay. You put plenty of bad things in the Discord, Dazzle. Okay. Yeah, because I just thought it was interesting that she decided to sort of flip around like that. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, the stuff about him pleading the fifth. Yeah, hang on. Rather than bring that up, I'll just do this. There we go. Pleads the fifth. Defendant Adrian Carney, aka Turtle Boy, invokes his Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination to any questions in defendant Karen Reid's homicide case. Which, to be fair, people, is the smart thing to do. I would say to a client to do exactly the same thing. It's not his case. Why the hell would you do anything other than say, I'm not going to say anything for fear of incriminating myself? It's the smart thing to do. So what was that? He's not a real witness in this case. That's why the sequestration order was lifted as to him. Let me rephrase. Your censor is actual news. Okay, that's where she got busy. Adrian Carney invokes his Fifth Amendment privilege against a tyrannical Auntie Bev in Karen Reid's jury trial. Sequestration order is lifted as to him as to a witness because he was not a witness since he was not at 34 Fairview at the time of John O'Keefe's death. He came into the case months after the investigation was already concluded as a journalist and a reporter. There, fixed it for you. That's funny. I think I can understand why she got upset with you. Mind you, who was it? I'm trying to remember who it was from Court TV that I was talking to after the Amber Heard case. Because that didn't go very far either once we started pointing out various bits and pieces where they were wrong as well. Because I remember when we did the digging on the private jet that they flew over that surprisingly turned out used to belong to Jim Carrey as well. With the dogs and all that sort of stuff here in Australia. And yeah, honestly, Larry, they don't like being corrected. They just don't. But I mean, look, wear it as a badge of honor, mate. That's all I can say. I think it was Chandler, yeah. Actually, from memory. Can you plead the fifth to one opposing party question after testifying first to the other side? I'll be perfectly honest. I haven't paid too much attention to how the Fifth Amendment works in America. So, I mean, Larry's probably the easiest, well, the fastest answer to that. Here, with the right to silence, no. It's once you open that door, you kind of can be compelled. So, got to be very careful. Have to watch the video titled... Trust me, show your audience. Okay, hang on, give me a minute. Karen Reid was framed. Let's have a look at this.
We start this hour with a fascinating case happening in Boston. It involves the murder of a Boston police officer, and the officer's girlfriend, Karen Reed, is the accused. But she says she's being framed. Jennifer McCabe, homeowner Brian Albert's sister-in-law, was searching on her phone how long to die in cold on January 29th, 2022 at 2:27 a.m. There is simply no innocent explanation for McCabe's search at that time. The evidence unequivocally exonerates Karen Reed because it establishes that individuals who were in the house at 34 Fairview that night were aware that John was dying in the snow before Karen even knew that he was missing.
Sources say investigators have video of the incident on doorbell cameras.
Now, in addition to that very incriminatory Google search, Reed's attorneys also discovered that they apparently deleted 18 calls from that night, as well as 7 phone calls between Albert and McCabe. The prosecution's case just might get destroyed tonight. Boy, does that stink. Almost as bad as the facts of this case stink. Josh Schiffer.
We talk all the time.
Holy crap. Okay, so she really was going all in on that, wasn't she? Well, Coco, can you really expect the media to ever get it right? Like, honestly. Also, what the fuck is this?
About how trials in criminal justice is so often a quest to hide something. The defense stood up and said, hey, we know there's this evidence out there. And the judge turned around and shut them down. I am flabbergasted. I would be as uproariously angry as counsel was. I'm shocked that the truth is being stymied here by the state in what really looks like a cover-up now.
I think Karen Reed is innocent, and I think they believe this with all of their hearts.
Holy crap. Okay, A, that is a hell of a jawline. B, wow, she actually kind of reminds me of my aunt. But anyway, neither here nor there. It's amazing how they actually, I don't know, saw sense to begin with.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know a lot of our courties think so too. They think that this is an innocent woman who's being framed and just outnumbered.
No. Hang on. Sorry. I will let this play, but I just need to, I can't skip over that. The court TV fans are called courties? Like roadies and townies? They've got courties?
There's nothing worse than a dirty cop. You know, I'll take a criminal all day long before a dirty cop, right? Because they're held to a higher standard. And that maybe those bite marks we're looking at right there might have been from a dog.
There is zero question that
you know, in the house or from a fight. You know, who knows? If they're right, I mean, what might happen there to this department?
Well, sadly, Julie, we're not talking potentially about a dirty cop. We may be talking about several dirty cops. There's a conspiracy here, and it's going to force certain individuals to answer very, very hard questions, because that evidence is going to be irrefutable. Phone calls that were made, phone calls that were placed, received, research that was done, Google searches, things of that nature, that there is no way to explain away. As an investigator, this is exactly the kind of evidence that I rely on. Who are the first 5 people they spoke to? Develop their identities, interview those folks. What did you talk about? What was the conversation with? Like, what was that person's demeanor? What was going on? You can't push back on, because it is irrefutable. You have to explain these details.
You're trusting that someone else did an honest investigation. Did they not see what might be happening?
And like good cops, good prosecutors get angry when they see that kind of corruption, the mere appearance of impropriety.
The mudslinging at Lally. Oh, damn. I can't believe I missed this. Can't stand Judge Bev always interrupts the defense, but never the prosecution. Plastic cups for evidence. What a joke. Yeah. I mean, I have seen apparently in the last couple of days or so, I've got to go back and watch the final pre-trial hearing, that apparently she was starting to get a little bit snippy with Brennan. I don't know if maybe the protection money. Oh, that's a bad joke. Let's leave that alone.
Whenever you see something that just doesn't pass the smell test, and that's what we've got here from the outside looking in, I can see how this case unfolds, how the scapegoat, Miss Reed, gets picked, and how this case proceeds to right now.
Who lost the love of her life who is being falsely accused and who is going through this process probably as shocked and appalled as the rest of us.
You're right. She went through a trauma. That's one thing to remember, too. You know, she might be a defendant, but she was traumatized without question, trying to save his life, trying to do CPR at the end of all of that.
I'll be damned. I do like Microdots' work. That's... You hear the reporter say, sources say investigators have video of the incident on doorbell cameras. That was from the initial news reports. We know now that was a lie fed to the media to force Karen to plea. No such footage exists. Damn. That's it's quite insane that they've flipped quite so hard. That's... I'll be perfectly honest, what I would have liked to have seen out of that was maybe a comparison, like doing shot for shot as to certain things that they've said now, because I know that they've said some very specific comments that would have worked very well in that video. Not that I'm criticizing Microdots, I just might have been that extra little bit of punch, I think, but no, he did some good work there. Holy crap. Videos created during the trial and released only on Twitter, but not many people saw it. Huh. New case that needs to be covered is a paraplegic in Atlanta being prosecuted by Fannie Willis's office for kicking in a woman's door. Oh, I saw that. That sounds like that sounds batshit crazy, honestly. Because like even the prosecutor's going, yeah, okay, we're still going to push this despite the fact that we know that there is no physical way for this to have taken place. Yeah, because you know they turned around, reversed the wheelchair into the door multiple times. To just, yeah, that one reeks as well, if I'm perfectly honest. Yeah, no worries, Larry. Honestly, time zones are a bitch, but anytime that I can make it, I'm more than happy to. Video of them contradicting themselves, that's a good one for someone to make. Yeah, that's sort of, yeah, that's what I was leaning towards. Have you seen Aiden's latest article on the jury tampering? God, I don't, oh, hang on. I wasn't hoping to get too... Shit, now I've got the... Has he got it posted? Hopefully. Oh, there it is. I saw the part about the police officer. Is this the... That's Garrett Wing. What is the... Oh, I can believe that the doorbell cameras just magically disappeared, if I'm perfectly honest. It's batshit crazy. Federal lawsuit over buffer zone. Karen retrial will be here sooner than we thought. That was 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 15 hours ago, 16 hours ago. I can't. How does one actually read said... Oh, it was a stream. That's what it was. I was trying to work out how I read his news article. Canton cover-up part 505. Disgraced former Dedham cop Ty Donahue is likely source of lies told to John Fanning to have not guilty juror removed on final day of trial. This one I thought was interesting. Need a call-in number, or I need to call you on Discord or something. We can talk Karen Weed, talk watches, and talk hatred. Oh, hang on. Okay, I can make this work. Give me a second.
Hello there.
Hey, MJ. And Kurt, I do actually have a call-in number, but I mean that's going to be more difficult to. Dude, I've seen you with your chat. Honestly, stay strong, okay? But let me just, because I should be able to. All right, hang on. I just got to remember how to be able to do this and not double up my own audio. So if I do this right, I will send you the link. Enter without mic and cam. What? No. Settings. Oh, that's right. I have to leave my no, that shouldn't require me to leave my camera off. Okay, audio's working. Mic unmutes, that's fine. And then I've just got to remember to switch the camera over once I'm in there. To be fair, Boosh, your streams are at a difficult time for me. Where are we? Alright, so I should be able to just do that. And then that stream, I guess, with stream capture. But I don't think that's what I want, is it? That's a second PC, that's a secondary camera. Maybe it is the screen capture one that I want. Exit full screen. I just got to make sure that I'm actually doing this correctly, because otherwise I'm going to show everyone how everything works on the back end, and that's not really what we want. Okay. No, that doesn't quite work. Tell me about it, Kurt. I'd much rather move, if I'm perfectly honest. Okay, interact. Enter without marking cam. That's right. And I want to full size that. Oh, seriously? Why is it going to have done that then? StreamYard browser, which is perfectly fine. And I add myself to the screen, and it only puts in that. How strange. Browser input. StreamYard browser track 1. Okay, I think that worked. Yes. Congratulations, Bush, on not having cancer. That is fantastic news. Alright, now how do I transform this? Edit transform. Is it? It's 1920 by 1080, isn't it? Okay. Alright, so settings. So now I just got to work out the camera. Which means I'll probably have to kill my main camera, so... ES camera, main camera, which is main camera there. New page master. Main camera. There we go. Cam link. Okay, that's fine then. Because that's fine there. And then I can go to there. And that starts my camera there. Which means that I can then do... Oh shit, where did it go? I swear to God, if OBS could find a better way to let us have guests, that'd be great. All right, we're good. Yeah, look, I mean, it's a little bit janky, but it'll work. All right, I'll send you the link. There we go. Oh yeah, look, having everything else for OBS is just so much better. It's just that you can't have guests for some reason. It's just the way that it's set up. It's just a pain in the backside. So, all right. Hello, Kurt.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. It's good to see you. It's been a while. It's been a while.
It has. I actually haven't streamed during this time slot for a while, so it's been a little bit out there and a little bit weird. So, but where are we? Oh, because we don't get the chat inside because of OBS, there is a link above like above our screen. There's just got a thing that you can just open up that'll have everyone's chat in it.
Yeah, or I could just open up the YouTube window and see it that way too.
That works too. Honestly, it's such a pain in the backside trying to work this out, but it doesn't help that I haven't streamed on this computer for almost a week. So
Yes. Well, I'd like to start by giving some good news of my own. I've been talking about this on my channel, but I've been losing a lot of weight, and I'm very happy about it. I'm down
congratulations!
I'm down 60 pounds off peak. So
Damn, congratulations!
I'm very happy. I'm making a lot of progress in that domain, and so I'm getting healthier. Life is good. I still have another 100 pounds to lose, but progress is progress.
No, dude, that's amazing. As it is, I struggle to like lose 9 pounds. So no, that's congratulations.
Yep. So that is exciting news and fun. And yeah, as I think someone was mentioning in chat, I've decided to take up watchmaking as a hobby. So I think I'm going to try to make my first build today. I ordered the parts from China, or the movement, the case, the dial, the hands, and then like the accessories to make it. So I think later today, I'm going to make a run to the PO box layer because I'm still expecting some stuff to come in. And so I'm planning on trying to do my very first watch build. And if it goes well, then maybe I have myself a little hobby and could be fun.
That sounds pretty awesome. I mean, I honestly wouldn't think that I'd ever have the I mean, I can't really talk. I'm sitting here building models, but
Yes.
it's significantly more finicky because I've seen some of the parts go into some of those watches. So I don't know that I have the patience for it, but no, more power to you. That's awesome.
I'm not sure I have the fine motor skill for it because I have a built-in tremor in my hands. So this is going to make things very challenging. Like, yeah, I was kind of disqualified from being a surgeon for biological reasons. So it's like, well, let me deal with really fine, very small things that we measure in millimeters. That's going to be good. We'll give that a shot.
That'll work.
Yeah. It could turn into a complete disaster. So tune in for that. We'll see how it goes.
So what did you pick for the build? Is it like, I mean, this is probably going to sound wrong, but is it anything special? Or did you pick something out for your first one, or is it?
I mean, in some ways, I suppose it's not particularly special. I'm using the NH35 movement by Seiko, which is used by a lot of companies. A lot of micro brands use them. It is probably the most ubiquitous watch movement made. And so a lot of companies use it for reasons. It's tried, true, reliable, if perhaps not particularly accurate, but it works. Then I just got myself, I think it's a 40 millimeter sort of diver style case. It's an all black case, black metal band, got a date cyclops to make the date easy to read. And then I got myself this sort of purplish dial that's got some texture on it, kind of looks like a cloud sort of. So it's got some, something that's interesting going to it. And then I'm going to use a black bezel that's got purple markers for the dive, so that the markers kind of accent the color of the dial and bring out the color. And so it should be just a really nice, easy build. And then I got custom made special stickers that say B-Fish because it's being made by the B-Fish watch company. And so I got myself so I can brand the dial with the B-Fish watch company. So I got these really tiny little stickers that I can put on the dial, hopefully quasi straight. Straight adjacent.
I mean, is there any wording on the B-Fish, or is it just a picture of a B-Fish?
No, it just literally says B-Fish in text.
Okay, because I was going to say, if it was
capital
a picture
B,
of a
capital
B-Fish, you
F.
could sort of just...
Yeah, capital B,
Fair
capital
enough.
F. So, yeah. So that is the dial, and I've already put some stuff together in my cart for future builds. So I've got some other stuff dealing with some other dials. I'm going to do like a Seiko Alpinist homage. I really like the Seiko Alpinist look, but I don't like the second crown that the Alpinist comes with. Got the crown for an internal chapter ring, but I don't really like that. So I just kind of seal the dial and do that. And then I got some stuff with other textures, some stuff with other things. And then I'd like to do a skeletonized one at some point too. So you can see the movement behind it. And I'd also like to do, I think it's called the VH31 Mecha Quartz movement. It's a quartz, but it has a smooth second hand. The second hand ticks 4 times per second. So you get that smoothish
Oh, so it just
mechanical
looks
look.
like it's
Yeah,
okay.
you get the
Yep.
smoothest mechanical look,
Mhm.
but you still get a quartz accuracy, which is really, really cool. I think it's technically interesting. So that's sort of in my planned build stage. And if
Hmm.
it all goes, if it all goes really, really well, at some point, maybe I'll do custom dials. I'll, find someone in China. I mean, there are companies like this that will make, the dial that you want. They'll do everything for you and just build it for you, and then you can ship it to you, and then we'll have
Yeah.
ourselves a micro brand. What's smaller than micro? What's
Nano brand?
nano brand? There you go. We've got a nano brand watch company in development. There you go.
That sounds awesome.
So yeah.
See, now I'm just thinking that like at the 1 year mark, oh, I'm not using the word irregardless. It's irrelevant whether or not it is like flashy or whatever else. But at the 1 year mark, you'll have to do a limited edition one that it has bee stripes on it and fish scales on the band.
Could do. Yeah, could do. Yeah, and then of course, in the ultimate, we'll bring watchmaking to America. There's a couple people that are trying to do this, but they're actually trying to make things in America. There's one guy in LA who probably, I think, legally could make it made in America. The problem with made in America as a label is America rules are very tight on this, as opposed to like Switzerland. Because I'm going to get this a little bit wrong. But for it to be Swiss made on the dial, it only has to be something like 60% Swiss origin.
Oh, really?
Something like that. But in America, it essentially has to be 100%. It's like all or essentially all. So basically, you have to make every single component inside the United States, and that's really hard for a lot of practical reasons. But there's one guy in LA who basically has gotten there. He's making basically everything except like the rubies and like everything, and he's trying to figure a way to source that in America too right now. But like, yeah, we're gonna make America watchmaking great again. There was a time when American watches were the best in the world during like the transcontinental railroad days. The Americans were making the most accurate watches in the world, and it's like, so we need to bring it back to the USA, baby. Screw the Swiss. We're gonna bring it on.
I mean, it definitely explains why, in the old time films and that sort of thing, the pocket watches for the guy standing on the train station, that sort of thing, why they were so prominent. That actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it. So
right, and there were a couple disastrous train accidents because people's watches weren't perfect. If one train has to leave at 9:30, and their train has to arrive at 9:33, you better both hope they have the same time, right?
Exactly,
Or you're gonna have a problem. It's actually interesting because, or interesting to me at least, Congress actually passed a law that said we need a watch that is this accurate. And at the time they passed the law, there was no such watch. It didn't exist. And so basically the watch community said, basically, we don't have it. And Congress said, here's a whole bunch of money, make me one. And so they did.
That's how government is supposed to support business,
Yeah.
Okay, here's something we want made in our country. Here's the money for it. Get it done.
Yeah,
That's how it should be.
It doesn't exist. Make it exist.
Exactly.
And so they did. And so American pocket watches were the best in the world for a long time as a result.
That's actually really awesome.
Because of the railroad sighting. And then something Switzerland. And then they make a lot of their components in China anyway and still stamp it as Swiss made, which is cheating.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know that there was that. I don't know. So people have basically said that it was fake, but I don't know how fake it is. But a bunch of like the Italian brands and that sort of thing, ever since the tariffs, I don't know if you've seen the videos. People in China basically just tearing boxes apart and showing that they're basically making a whole bunch of luxury brands in China and just labeling it as made in Italy.
I 100% believe it. I 100% believe it.
I believe it too.
And as I say, like Switzerland, and I can't believe Switzerland is unique in this domain. What it legally requires to be made in Switzerland, what is legally required for it to be made in Italy is not necessarily as tight. I know this is a problem with Japanese whiskey because, like, in order for it to be like labeled as Japanese made, I'm gonna get this wrong too, but I think like technically it can be like made somewhere else and then just like merely bottled in Japan, and that qualifies as Japanese made under Japanese law. Some of the other countries' laws are ridiculously loose on what qualifies as made in that country. The United States is unbelievably strict by comparison.
Well, you can kind of understand that, though. I mean, I know that specifically for some of the Asian countries, the reason they do that is because obviously they haven't been making it for very long. So, for example, I think it's only really been, I think I saw a 13-year-old whiskey, like that's basically fresh. It's a brand new company essentially, and it's the first 13-year batch they've made since they've actually started developing whiskeys in Japan
Sure.
and South Korea and that sort of thing. So I kind of understand why they want to be able to promote that from their end, but it doesn't really do much for the rest of the world. I mean, specifically here for our food standards, for example, ours aren't so much whether or not it's if it's going to be a product of Australia,
Sure.
I think it has to be 96% or more was grown and manufactured here in Australia in terms of the like I can go get a thing of juice out of the fridge and it's actually got a percentage bar on the above the barcode to show exactly how much of it was either grown or produced or manufactured here in Australia.
I kind of like that idea. That's I like that as a concept because that is just like being fair to the consumer. Maybe we could do that in the United States too, like made in America 60% or made in America 70%, or like you could do that. That could be fun. We'll have to talk to the Federal Trade Commission about that.
I'm sure they'll be very excited to hear about the comments.
Yeah,
I know
here's some exciting ideas that I have.
Well, let's face it. When did the government ever listen to people like us? It's almost like, you know, if what do they say? If it's not broke, don't fix it. And if it's the government, even if it is broke, they don't fix it.
Elon Musk is my neighbor. I'll just go knock on his door and ask him.
Fair enough. I mean, say hi for me. But no, it's great that you're picking up a hobby like that. It was, it's. I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but it's just eccentric enough that I think it suits your personality.
I'll accept it.
So yeah, so how things been going? I know you mentioned things about your chat, but I know you've been covering some heavy topics lately.
Yeah.
And
I feel like maybe I'm like the last principled person, especially on the more right-wing side of LawTube these days. Because like I have one of the reasons I consider myself right wing is because I believe in a lot of principles that I believe are conservative and right wing principles. Like I believe in concepts like, it's good to have rules, it's good to have boundaries, it's good to have borders in every sense. Like we need borders in concepts, borders in law, we need like rules and ways to follow a path so that we can think in a logical path and stuff like that. And so I've been trying to apply my rules consistently. And sometimes the Trump administration is doing things that I don't believe are in accordance with the law. And
yes.
I have to inform my chat of this, and they get very grumpy at me.
And I think that's the trouble when when we do get people in chat that are very staunchly one way or the other. And I mean, up until well, I mean, I won't say very recently, but up until recently, I tried to sit on the fence and try and provide both sides of various arguments and that sort of thing, without sort of trying to color it with my own opinions on which political side I am. I gave up on that, honestly.
Yeah. Fair.
But no, I agree with you, because when people assume that if you're going to be right wing, for example, you have to support and believe everything that, for example, Musk and Trump are doing. Now, I've said this straight through. I'm not actually a fan of Trump as a person. That doesn't mean that I don't mind some of his policies. That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that I think that he's doing everything correctly. We're having the same thing here at the moment because our election is on the 3rd of May or the 17th of May. It's 3 weeks. We've had a left-wing government in for 3 years, and our living standards have dropped, I think, 20% in 3 years. Like, it is ridiculous how things have turned out here. And
I've seen the videos from, I believe it's called Juice Media, making fun of your government. They're hilarious.
Oh yeah, Juice Media is pretty good. I do enjoy them. But at the same time, people assume that just because I'm against the current left-wing government, that I'm supportive of every policy that our right-wing opposition leader has. And I'm sorry, that's just not the case, because at the moment, our right-wing party is effectively, they're mirroring a left-wing party that's in government. It's effectively a uni party at this point. They have the same policies. They're committing to the same things. They're saying there's not a lot really that they're going to do different between each other. And people automatically assume that because I'm taking the piss out of the current administration, that I must be completely, that that I must be completely supportive of everything that the opposition party's doing. And I think this year might be the first year that I actually put independents and or the Libertarian Party primary over
Yeah.
the major political parties.
There you go. Bring in
So
some
I
of
don't.
those third parties, man. Do use your ranked choice voting. I'm so happy that you guys have ranked choice voting in the in Australia. I wish we had it in the United States. I think it would make a
Well,
lot
see,
of things better.
I don't think it's strictly so, because I was talking to chat about this at one point as well, because I don't think it's strictly ranked choice the same way that you have in some of the states there. We have preferential voting. So
Mhm.
the way that it works is that you can do a full vote of so you can basically rank, but not everybody does, because they're encouraged to do what's called voting above the line, which is you just specify a specific political party and
Mhm.
allow the political party to decide where your vote goes.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, if you do that for, say, one of the smaller parties, it is then up to that political party to decide where your vote's going to go. Now, that may mean that you may vote for a particular party, and then your vote's going to count towards someone that you completely disagree with. So, for example, if I vote for an independent, but they automatically assume, oh, well, because I'm not going to get in, I'm not going to pass it on to another independent, I'm not going to pass it on to a smaller party, it's going to go immediately to one of the two big parties.
Okay.
And so that's how the two big parties gain a lot of seats. For example, we have a senator that's in place that at the last election got a total of 1,800 votes.
Mhm.
Still don't know how. It was because because basically the way that I picture it is that the votes get poured into cups, and as the cups spill over, they get tipped into each new cup. And
Sure.
basically it basically got to the very end, and her cup was full of all these preferential votes, despite the fact that only 1,800 people out of 75, 80,000 people voted for her.
Okay. So let me
So
see if I understand. So you have the choice of either voting by candidate or by party.
yes,
Okay.
for the most part, yes.
And so if you vote by party and your party doesn't win, then you get to select what your second favorite choice is by party?
No. So
No,
if you vote above the line, it's just the party. And
okay.
then whatever the preference goes is based on what the party says should be. Now, I should specify that's only in relation to the Senate. The House of Representatives, you do have to go through and do. So our lower house, you've still got to mark at least 5 people, but you might
Okay.
have 10 or 12 candidates in the area.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. So if you vote by party, either your preferred party wins, in which case they choose, or your preferred party doesn't win, in which case you basically have selected nobody. And then like whoever sort of wins by popular vote wins. I mean, I guess that's kind of parallel. So even that, I suppose, is preferable, although I just vote by person so that I could rank choice it and call it a day.
That's honestly my preferred way of doing it. I think that everything should be ranked, and the simple fact of the matter is, even when I'm voting for at the Senate, which you've got to vote for something like 50 odd candidates, I will still sit there and I'll number every single one of them. I'm one of the
Do you
people.
have to rank every single one?
I'm pretty sure in the Senate, if you vote below the line, you have to rank at least 30. I've got the form somewhere, but
That's
I was
annoying.
planning on doing a video on it in the next couple of days anyway. But but get this though, just on a random tangent, one of the major political parties, the one that's in power at the moment, they've had their current sitting members mailing out postal votes to people, or applications for postal votes to people.
Sure.
And the applications don't go to the Australian Electoral Commission. They go back to the party member's office for them to
Okay.
open, potentially photocopy, and then send off.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that.
That sounds like some of the ballast harvesting stuff that we have in the United States, which is also really sketchy for the similar reasons.
Mm.
In
So-
some states, at least. Yeah.
No, the issue that I have with it is because it's a legitimate application for a postal vote, but in order to do that, you have to include full name and address, your date of birth, security questions, like it's stuff that hackers would pay for basically, and you're just handing it over to your local member of parliament because I don't want to go to the polling booth on the day. It's just
mail it into the election commission like a normal person.
exactly, it's the way it should be done. So
yeah. But yeah, voting is interesting. But I like some version of preferential voting, like just that you can express preferences more accurately. Because basically we have a winner take all system, and basically everywhere there's a few minor exceptions, and this promotes problems because one of the biggest problems is the wasted vote effect. Because like,
Mhm.
well, if I don't vote for one of the major parties, any vote except for the second person is basically effectively a vote for the first person. Because if I vote for the third most popular person, I'm not voting for a second person to make them first, right? So it's like
Yeah.
any vote other than the second person is effectively a vote for the first as a sort of mathematical reality. So this
Mhm.
drives everyone into one of the major parties because they don't want their vote to be wasted, which is perfectly reasonable and rational. But it's like one of the ways to solve this problem is you have some sort of preferential voting. You can do approval voting, you can do ranked voting. There's you can do concordant voting if you want to get really mathematically complicated about it, but no one understands it, and trying to
Mhm.
explain to the voters is impossible. It's like, well, what we're going to do is we're going to create theoretical pairwise elections for every single candidate based on your rank, and then we're going to do some complicated math stuff to try to figure out the best expression of what you're voting for. It works mathematically, but the voter will never buy it. But in any sense, in any case, it's good, and it also would even work within the primaries, because even the primaries have the same problem. Like if you have
Yeah.
multiple candidates, I think it would. I think it would even if it didn't change us from a two-party system, I think it would drive us to essentially more um, it would drive us to candidates that had wider popularity and therefore would drive a bit more moderation and a bit more ability to work with each other, because
Mhm.
it would almost necessarily represent a broader consensus view.
Right.
So even if it didn't change us from a two-party system, it would still be an improvement. All I need to do is get a constitutional amendment. So if you could get me like 2/3 of the states to support this proposition, that'd be great.
I mean, look, we couldn't even get 50% of our states to agree to something, so I don't
Yeah.
know that I can agree. I can give you that one, unfortunately.
Yeah. If I were king for a day, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh god, could you imagine how we could reform the world?
Hopefully for the better, lol.
Well, there'd be certain things I'd take advantage of, but um, oh god. Kurt, would you mind just if you could keep the seat warm just for a second? I've been gone for like
Sure.
3 hours and I need to go to loo. So
Okay, cool, no problem. How
Yes.
y'all doing? How y'all doing, chat? Is your chat is Aussie chat as stupid as my chat, or you're doing okay over there, guys? How are you doing? Yeah, Megan says I like ranked choice voting. I do too. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to go about this. In ranked choice voting, you just literally vote them 1, 2, 3, 4. In approval voting, you just literally say yes or no. So there's no rank, but you just check which ones you like, and then you basically count who gets the most votes. It's simpler because you just have to say, do I like them or don't I like them? But it provides many of the same advantages. Although it is a little bit weird because then you'd have a situation where you have like basically the winning candidate hypothetically would get like 60% of the vote, and the losing candidate would get like 55% of the vote. I mean, it makes sense mathematically, but it might be a little bit hard to explain to people. It's like, how did I lose with 55? Well, because the other guy had more votes. But anyways, you're based, excellent. You're a smart chat, also excellent. Also, by the way, just for the sake of clarity, and I know this is also a weird point, but I support Trump politically, even if I don't necessarily like things legally, because I separate in my own mind politics from law. I think they're distinct concepts. And I think being conservative politically is not quite the same thing as being conservative legally. Like being conservative legally has like some principles, for example, originalism, and has some principles to it. So it's like, you know, I like a lot of what Trump is doing politically, but not necessarily exactly the way he's going about it, because I still believe in rule of law. And
Mm.
I think trying to make this distinguishment also blows some people's minds.
Yeah, some people don't sort of like it when you don't just blindly support people, and unfortunately, that's kind of the problem. Is that when you are trying to be the one to say, "Well, hang on, we need to make sure that everything's still all above board," I can understand why that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Because
yes, people don't use your dollar bucks. I haven't set any of that up on this page. Okay.
yeah. The problem with legal rules is they're supposed to be blind to issues like party, they're supposed to be blind to these issues. So it's like any legal rule I create for Trump would necessarily be a legal rule for, president AOC, Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom, Waltz, Harris, Clinton, or fill in your own Democrat of choice in this sentence. And so me trying to think ahead to be like, geez, I'm not sure I necessarily want to give the executive unchecked power. That
No.
sounds like a problem.
Yeah, you don't really want to open Pandora's box, because let's face it, I mean, it may only be another 3 years, and then we've got to deal with everything else.
Yeah.
So no.
And I know, and that the very same people who today are saying, Trump should be able to do what he wants, judiciary shouldn't be allowed to interfere. I know for absolute certainty those same people would be making a very different argument, if it were one of those people who are president. So I was like, you're not thinking this through.
Yeah.
You're not even trying to think this through, which makes me makes me frustrated.
And that's the problem, because basically it's a case of what's good for the goose has to be good for the gander. Anything that any sort of powers or things that are overlooked or whatever else. I think maybe that's why so many people are a little bit freaked out by some of the things that Trump's doing as well, because there were certain things that Obama did, and there were definitely things that Biden did that they're saying that, oh, well, Trump shouldn't be doing any of this now. And it's like, well, exactly, checks and balances. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But we'll see how it pans out. Yeah. But those are some of the things that are on my mind right now. And then also I need to find some sort of film or something for this glass behind me, so that I can get some sort of anti-reflective, anti-glare film that you could put on, your GPS in your car, because they make films that will do that will reduce glare. So I need some sort of anti-glare film. And I've been having trouble finding an anti-glare film that is big enough. This is 24.5 by 27.5 inches. So I need a film that's big enough for that. And I can't really find one. So if anyone knows where I can find like an anti-glare film for like windows or something, preferably clear would be nice, so it doesn't detract from the photograph. That would be nice, because the glare is bugging the shit out of me.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I don't know where you'd be able to find it in the US, but because I specifically I've got a massive window right here, basically next to me, and I got some stuff specifically for that, both for glare but also for heat reduction. I don't know whether or not it'd do the same thing, but I mean, the other thing you could look at is like one-way mirror tint. That would potentially capture the glare as well.
One-way mirror tint. Interesting.
Yeah, just make
so
sure
if you did if you did the mirror side the other way around,
yeah,
would that work? It might.
It might. I can't say for sure, but yeah, I think the 3M stuff's the stuff that is the ones that made the stuff that I use anyway.
Oh, yeah. 3M probably makes something. Yeah, we'll find some sort of window film. I have 3M film on my car for tint, and it's excellent.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Car window tint is an interesting idea, because you could get like an 80% tint, so it would be pretty clear. That might work too. Yeah, maybe an 80% tint. Okay.
Whatever it is, you're just going to want it to be the reverse of reflective, because if you put so for example, if you have the outside of the tint facing towards the camera, you're still going to have the same issue.
Yeah, so you have to make sure it's the right way around.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So what's on your mind, since I've been talking about what's on my mind and stuff for a while?
Well, I mean, that's really my biggest problem at the moment, is that there isn't a huge amount on my mind. Because I took a job. I think I told you I took a job out in the bush, helping farmers with keeping their farms and like doing farmer finance and things like that. So my streams at the moment are relegated to me driving home from work and basically just talking to chat, which means that a good chunk of my sort of research time and all that sort of stuff goes right out the window. So my biggest problem at the moment is that I don't know what I'm talking about anything. So that's why I'm happy to have a guest that knows what they're talking about things.
I hope I know what I'm talking about, man. But I swear, my chat these days, like if I say one word wrong, they're on my ass because, like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. You're getting the facts wrong. I'm like, okay, yeah,
Oh, I mean,
but
it's
yeah,
almost as if people forget that we're human.
that too, that tue. And
But
also
no, I
that
mean,
some of us can disagree about things is also below their mind. Like, it's like, oh, this lawyer said this. Like, yeah, I don't read it that way. It's okay.
oh yeah, that's right. Because you were yeah, because I do sit in your chats occasionally while I'm just listening at work, and oh god, I know what was it? It was oh, it was last week. I can't remember specifically what it was, but I saw you had to ban somebody, and I was like, damn, people were really putting you through the ringer on that.
Yeah, and then I made what was perhaps the best decision for my sanity because I was just chasing so many rabbit holes because people were
I
just saying
saw.
stuff. I put on a filter on my end so that I can turn it on or off at a click of a button, which is nice. But I put
Mhm.
on a filter that automatically filters all non-member chats, so then I can only see member chats or
Mhm.
super chats. So like if I'm doing a particularly controversial stream, and I know what those are now, it's like if I put on the filter, then I don't see every bit of the stupid, and if I don't see it, I don't even respond to it because I can't see it, and then my sanity is preserved and less yelling, which is good for everybody.
Yeah, better to keep your blood pressure down, honestly. Because yeah, I mean, I get it.
My blood pressure issues are high enough as it is, man. My doctor has me monitoring my blood pressure because I'm having blood pressure issues. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I do think that probably is. I think the problem with your chat specifically, and I'm not saying anything against chat. I'm just saying specifically the interactions that you have. I kind of feel like because you are positioned in such an, shall we say, expert position, because you do know what you're talking about. You are highly skilled and highly knowledgeable about various aspects of law, and I think that because what I've been trying to work out is where I fit in terms of content creating. Because as I was saying to Chad earlier, I'm not even sure I fall in LawTube anymore, frankly. I'm more whilst I like covering trials and legal case and all that sort of stuff. I do feel like for LawTubers, it's more about specific commentary, which is because you're either an educator, a performer, a commentator, or I can't remember what the last one is. But for the most part, everyone in LawTube falls into either the commentator or the educator. I think you specifically fall more into your educator
Yeah, I
area.
think sure. Yeah, I agree.
Um, and I think that's just why people feel the need to tear someone down when they're positioned in a way that they, for lack of a better term, I mean, I don't think you specifically mean to do it, but you kind of get held out as an expert. So everyone's going to jump on you when you make and well, I won't say a mistake, but if you make a opinion or a decision or something that someone doesn't necessarily agree with, they're going to try and jump all over it. It's what we call here tall poppy syndrome, which is,
Hmm.
you know, yeah. Shut up, Dazzle. So, yes, Buck. Jeff managed to walk that a very fine line. I never really made it into the educational. I'm somewhere between performer and commentator, and I'll be perfectly honest. When I'm doing the commentary, it takes a shit ton of research for me. So that's where I'm more about, making people laugh, bringing funny stories, reading news articles that I think are going to keep people entertained. As bad as it sounds, it's low effort, and at the moment, that's what I need.
I don't necessarily think there's necessarily a wrong way to go about it, and there's perhaps a place for everyone in this domain.
Mm.
That you can be more entertaining, you can be more factual, you can get more into the nitty gritty. You can just I think the way, and of course you can do a combination of these things. So I think that probably the right way to do it is just whatever naturally comes to you in terms of what the way you like to do it.
Mhm.
And then just kind of do the best version of that, and be the best version of who you are and call it a day.
Yeah, I think that's really all you can do. Oh yeah, the old commercials. But let's save that, Buck. um. So no. So, um. I mean, I'm going to try and cover as much as I can, but I presume you're doing what Karen Reed gavel to gavel.
Yeah, I'm going to do Karen Reed Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. I am looking forward to the stupid once again, which perhaps will be even more stupid than the first time, not for least of reasons that my favorite cop and yours, Mr. Proctor, if you don't mind, has been dishonorably discharged and should lead to some interesting discussion. And we're still having fights over ARCA, which is amazing to me. It's like we're still teeing up some sort of restriction on ARCA or some sort of like we're still arguing over this thing. It's amazing. I don't know what I don't know what the prosecutor has a bug up their ass about, and I don't know what the judge has a bug up their ass about either. So yeah.
I think that, well, I mean, look, we know what the connections are between Bev and the prosecutor's office, so I try not to read too much into that, but I apparently, I mean, I haven't seen it because I haven't seen the last last pre-trial hearing, but apparently she was starting to get a little bit snippier with Brennan, which I'm happy to hear. But I mean, because
in her last set of rulings, she made some that were actually partially in favor of the defense. It was amazing.
Oh, spoilers!
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Hank's very scared of Arca, and so he should be. Honestly, I mean, even if I mean, I can fully expect that at some point during this trial, Jackson's going to get very close to sanctions. Honestly, because I mean, certainly if I was sitting in his position, I know that there's certain things that I would be dying to get in front of the jury, even if it's just a couple of sentences, And the way that plays out, I have no idea. But I mean, so far, because I don't know if you saw, but today I was looking at some posts on X, and another cop that's related to the trial has also been discharged. So he wasn't actually an investigator or anything, but he supposedly was one of the ones that informed Fanning about the juror in the first trial, the pro-defense juror that got dismissed.
Yeah, what about it?
Apparently, the juror and the cop that informed Fanning were an item at one point. And
okay, of course it was.
Yeah, like I haven't verified any of that yet, so I'm not going too deep into it. But yeah, apparently there's some other things there. But I mean, between what's going on with the Reed case, what's happened in the Birchmore case,
Yeah, I haven't gone too deep into Birchmore, but there's some sketchy stuff there too, man.
Oh, dude, the Birchmore case is horrific when you actually read the allegations, when you read what came up on the phones, and the way that the troopers that were involved in the Reed case acted in that one as well. All it does is tell me that the corruption isn't limited to Canton PD. Like sorry, I won't say corruption. What I will say is that it shows that the misconduct is not limited to Canton PD. Which obviously Proctor was a state patrol trooper, but they were trying to act like it was an isolated incident and it ended with him. It very much did not.
No, there's bigger problems. Which
Yeah.
sort of makes sense, because I was sort of noting this from the text messages that Proctor was sending his boss, because he was sending these inappropriate messages. And it's like, but Proctor understands the water he's swimming in. And his bosses didn't react with anything like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did that. That was so unprofessional." They didn't do anything like that. So he knew that was acceptable. That was the culture, right? It's not, at least as to those messages, it was emblematic of the culture in the place. And so it's not particularly surprising that you're seeing that Proctor is not necessarily just an isolated person. It's more about the entire department and the way they operate or don't.
Yeah, and because at the very least, Guarino, the one that did I'm pretty sure it was Guarino, the one that did the looking into the phone for the text messages and that sort of thing. I mean, how you just fail to see 30,000 text messages between one of the troopers and a dead girl, and then it comes out that someone else has to investigate into that. It doesn't give me confidence that he's done his job properly in other cases. Let's put it that way. So, But no, I'll be interested to see exactly how that one pans out too. But
Also, on a slightly different subject, I heard you mention Ring doorbells earlier today. Did you mention Ring doorbells, or am I just mistaken? In some context.
Oh yeah, no. Larry was in chat and he sent me a video that Microdots did, and they were talking about the Ring doorbell video that just miraculously disappeared.
I'm pissed at Ring doorbell right now. I'm pissed at the company. I'd like to tell you my story. So I
Oh.
bought a peephole camera for my apartment because
Mhm.
I didn't want to. I just wanted something that would fit in the standard peephole, and they make one that does that, and great. But mine malfunctioned, and so I called the Ring doorbell company, as one does, and be like, "Hey, your unit is malfunctioning." And this was back in January. And so after
Mhm.
doing the stupid tech support stuff, they're like, "Okay, yeah, it's malfunctioning. We'll send you another one, but we don't
Right.
have any in stock right now."
Oh.
I'm like, okay. So I call back a couple times, right? And still like it nonstop. So fast forward like 2 days ago or 3 days ago. So I'll take note. It's been 3 months since January. I
Mhm.
call them on their line. I'm like, hey, I still haven't gotten this. What's up? And they're like, well, it's still not in our warehouse. It's like, we can send you this other unit. And initially I said yes. And I'm like, let me check something. So I go on the
Right.
Ring doorbell website and I'm like, for purchasing. And sure enough, the peephole
They've
camera
got
is
that.
available for purchase. It's available for purchase. So the agent comes back online. It's like, okay, we're going to send you this other unit. I'm like, but the one that you said is not in stock. It's
It's
available
on
for
your
purchase
website.
right now. It says right now that I can that I can buy it, and they'll ship to me 2 day shipping, and it's available. It's like, yeah, it's available for purchase, but it's not available for warranties. I'm like, but you have it in stock. You have to replace it. And it's like, but it's not in our warehouse for returns. And I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure at this point you're breaking the law because you have the stock. You have the stock. You have the item to return. It's under a claim. You have to repair it, and you're not doing it, even though you have it. I'm pretty sure you're breaking the law. So I don't want to do business with you anymore. So like, don't send me the replacement unit. I'm
Yep.
canceling my account. And I hate you as a company.
Um. Oh god. Well, look. To be honest, that saves me some time because, I mean, we've been using because we've got security cameras, but at the same time, I've been using Google Nest for like the doorbell and things like that, just because I, although the security company's great, that's more about protection of the home and sending people out if someone shows up and that sort of thing. If there's a sudden machete attack, which would be horrific. Surprisingly, a big problem in here in the area at the moment. Um,
Random machete attacks.
I can't.
I've seen the UK propose knife crime laws. Like, we want to restrict knives. I'm like, this is just kind of mildly hilarious at this point. But yeah.
Yeah. Thinking that it's going to make a difference or anything like that, I don't know. But no, they just brought in anti-machete laws that will come in. Was it they're going to come into effect in what, September? So that's helpful.
Yeah, and I'm sure if people don't have machetes, they won't use anything else.
Well, I mean, because the problem is that obviously with our laws here in Victoria, we have one of the strictest self-defense laws that you could imagine as well. So we not only can you not have something say by your bed because that would be considered premeditated to use a weapon, but whatever happens has to be proportional. So if someone comes at me with a pocket knife, I can't use a hammer to go against them. Like, it's honestly, it's pathetic. It's very, very distasteful in my mind, and if I need to protect my family, I'm fucking well going to. Excuse the language.
As you should.
Yeah.
I with
I will have
with
no
a
qualms
gun.
about it.
It's like I have my Glock by my bedside.
Yep. Yeah, well, see, if it obviously we don't have the access to the weapons, but if I kept one within reach for the purpose of self-defense, I could be seen as engaging in an aggravated account of assault on someone entering my house.
I understand this in other countries, batshit crazy countries. Yes, it's like in
Yeah.
Texas, we go as far in the other way as possible. It's by law legally presumed to be justified. Like, on top of like self-defense law, there's actually like a specification in the law itself that on top of it gives a special presumption of justification if they break into my house. It's like it's just presumed to be
Justified.
basically justified. It's like you broke into my house and I can shoot you. Like great, excellent. This is the way it should be. Don't break into other people's houses.
No, absolutely not. That's like because I covered a case. Oh, it would have been what, November or January. I can't remember specifically. Three guys broke into a house in, I want to say, Georgia, I think, from memory.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid that owned the kid that lived in the house pulled out a rifle, shot two of the guys, and one of the people that broke into the house, his grandfather turned around and said, "Oh, well, the gun gave him an unfair advantage in defending his home."
That was the idea. You're right. That was
Exactly.
that was the idea.
That's the whole point.
Did you want an unfair advantage when you were breaking into my house? I think you did. Right?
Exactly.
It's like we wanted the advantage. Oh, that's unfortunate. Some of these times when there's like really clean self-defense cases and people say stupid things, it catches my attention. I remember one where it was like was a drugstore, a CVS or a Walgreens or something. There was an armed robbery in progress, and a guy is just walking on the street. Okay, the guy sees the armed robbery in progress. He goes into the store and shoots the bad guys. And then the victims, the guy who got shot, their family is on TV saying, you know, this guy wasn't involved in this thing. You know, he wasn't involved. You know, why did he go in and shoot our baby? You know, he didn't do nothing wrong. I'm like, get wrecked. You know,
Exactly. You didn't want to get shot. You shouldn't have robbed the place. Right. Honestly, the fact that people can turn around and try and justify the actions, like, oh god, I suppose I got to touch on it because I haven't spoken about it all week. The kid that stabbed the other one at the track, mate. Like,
yeah, that's interesting, and the fact that I've even said that there's a potential for a imperfect self-defense, like the possibility of this has drove in my chat absolutely batshit crazy. It's like there's a possibility that he might be able to get this down to a manslaughter based on an imperfect self-defense, based on a variety of potential legal theories. And me suggesting this possibility has been challenging with my chat.
People just can't kind of wrap their heads around it, I suppose.
Yeah. And it's like not for the least of reasons that at this point we still have a pretty big fog of war situation. We just don't have enough information. You know, we don't have a complete enough picture. So it's like, well, it's like I have to sort of like based on the information we do have, sort of what are the bounds of what's possible. And some of the bounds of what's possible allow for a potential of imperfect self-defense or a mitigation that could wind up with a significantly lower sentence, particularly depending on what your jury looks like. And so it's like this is possible, you know, but this is the wrong thing apparently.
I mean, it's not only that, because I mean, there's a whole heap of misinformation getting out there about that as well. I mean, I've seen a whole bunch of videos where people are thinking that it happened on a train and that he refused to get out of a seat and that he laid hands on him and he got stabbed that way. And it's like, if you have not actually even looked up the circumstances of the case, I don't think you should be commenting on it, especially not with batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Like, just anyway. I mean, if there is an imperfect defense on that one, what would you think, given the circumstances of the judge reducing his bond so substantially as well? What would you think the outcome would be there?
Well, in Texas, it's at the defendant's option where they want sentencing by the judge or sentencing by the jury. So that would be the first question. Like, which of these options do you like better? But I could hypothetically see a jury on the far end, you know, on the good end for the defense. I could hypothetically see them saying, you know, this kid who did the stabbing was something. He was on the football team. He might have been like quarterback or something like that. But he was, you know, a reasonably good student by, you know, objective standards. You know, he didn't have a history with gang activity. He, you know, seemed to be doing reasonably well as a student. So I could see them saying that this is a good a good kid who allowed the testosterone to get to them.
Mhm.
And the evidence does suggest that he was pushed first, and
Mhm.
perhaps the nature of that aggression, depending on how that pans out, I could see them seeing that provides some kind of mitigation that would
Mm.
knock his sentence down, or potentially even arise to, because the defense would have to prove by preponderance, to get it down a degree, that it came as a result of a sudden heat of passion. That basically
Yeah.
that there was a sudden inflaming of temper. And that's
Mhm.
like, I could definitely see them buying that. So I think his odds of either it dropping it down or mitigating, I mean, I think I've said 10%. I might be underestimating though, but of course it's like I need more information. But I
Yeah.
definitely think it's possible. And then of course, again, also, if it's done by the jury, you have to factor in the jury, because I know that, like, I've seen people on the right say things like, if I were touched, I should have the right to use deadly force just because I was touched. I should have that power. So there are people who seem to think that on
Mhm.
both ends of the spectrum. So I could see, depending on the jury, he has chances, is what I would say. He has chances, and I don't think they're trivial.
Right. Okay. Hmm.
I don't think in the end that if the sentencing is done by the judge or jury, I don't think they're gonna go to the wall. The range is very wide in Texas for a first degree murder. The range is 10 to 99 or life. So it's like you can pick any number between 10 and 99. That's a huge range for a murder one. But that's just the way Texas rolls. So it's like, I think
Damn.
it's likely to be more. I think it's likely to be closer to the 10 than the 99 in the end. You know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, unfortunately. Um, so speaking of completely, complete changing gears here. In terms of changing sentences, the Menendez brothers, I only
Yeah.
heard bits and pieces of a stream, or I think it was might have been a news article or something a couple of days ago. I find it wild that that I mean, they've got life without parole at the moment, and they're looking at life with a possibility of parole.
Mhm.
But I heard the comments by the prosecutor saying that the bar should be, extremely high, because that's shit. I can't even remember what he said now. Sorry, it's like 1 a.m. now. Um, I mean, I haven't, I don't know all of the details of Menendez case. What would you think that it's something that would be likely for them to be able to get an opportunity of parole or not?
Well, the big thing to note here is that the California legislature passed a law that
Mhm.
essentially allows for the possibility of this resentencing. So this whole thing is being done because the legislature has at least provided this option.
Right.
And there was the old DA who was setting up for reducing the sentence, and then there was an election, and the new DA seems to not want to do that with the resentencing. In terms of whether it should be done or not, I don't really have a strong opinion.
Mhm.
I haven't really gotten into the weeds of the case to really have a strong opinion about what the most just result here is. But I mean, the
Right.
law allows for the possibility of this post conviction mercy. So if the
Okay.
facts are there, then fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah. No, fair enough then.
Justice is hard.
Always. I mean, there's a reason that that the scales are blind, because if you pay too much attention to it, your heart's going to get swayed one way or the other. So,
Yeah, which isn't
um,
necessarily a good way to go about things. I always like the idea that justice can be zealous but not passionate. Justice should be cold blooded. That's I think correct. It needs to be done unemotionally and methodically. I think it's
hmm,
correct, but maybe it's just me.
yeah, fair enough. Hang on, I'm just gonna have to respond to this one. Asked you about my friend, and I'll be videoing her and the kids in the bathroom and finally got picked up. That's great news, Serenity. I'm very happy to hear that something actually came out of that. It did concern me when you went through the facts of that, and yeah, I'm quite happy to hear about that. So, Prelim hearings next week. Okay. Oh. So, I mean, aside from the obvious big ones, are there any other big cases that you're looking at the moment?
There's one the Supreme Court just picked up for oral argument yesterday, dealing with the scope of injunctions. That's potentially pretty big, and the time frame they're trying to have the case is pretty big. So
Okay.
in the United States right now, there are 94 districts federally. Some states have
Mhm.
more than one, and the district courts right now are issuing injunctions that go beyond their jurisdictional borders. And so this has been a controversial issue that has been developing, depending on how you count it, for 40 years, and especially, I think, since the Obama administration, because we've been seeing a lot more of these things. And
Mhm.
there's controversy relating to this in both directions. And the U.S. Supreme Court just picked up this issue yesterday, so they're going to have a hearing next month with apparently a decision by the end of June, which is blowing my mind. It's
Damn.
like we're gonna have a decision on this in 2.5 months from now, really? But apparently, and so that has huge scope,
Mhm.
because the vehicle that they're bringing it up in has to deal with birthright citizenship, but they're not actually getting to the merits of the issue. So they're not
Right.
actually discussing birthright citizenship. They're actually just discussing the scope of injunctions. So it would impact all injunctions for all law for all purposes, right? Because it goes to the fundamental nature of what power do these lower court judges have in all the cases.
And
So
they're going to
that's
turn around and do that in 2.5 months.
apparently, yes, they're going to turn around doing 2.5 months, which is blowing my mind.
Yeah. So, chat, for those of you that don't understand that, I mean, specifically for our High Court, for example, if you get a case that goes before them at some point, you could probably wait a year, maybe a year and a half or two before judgment. 2.5 months to decide on anything for the Supreme Court. That's insanity, especially something that could have such far ranging was it
Consequences,
far? Yes, thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, my brain's starting to shut down on me,
You're
unfortunately.
fine. You're fine. You can go to sleep anytime you want, by the way. It's fine by me. I'm not here to keep you awake.
No, I appreciate, honestly, Kurt, I appreciate you being here. It was a reason for me to actually get the StreamYard back up and running, and it was a reason for me to. I'm just happy to be interacting with people, honestly. So
yeah, and so yeah, so that's a really big case. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else on the radar right now. I mean, the Trump stuff is always keeping me busy.
Mhm.
Let's see what else is happening. I mean, the Koberger case, as that
Mhm.
develops, I don't think we're getting to trial anytime in the near future, but whenever that gets to trial,
Yep.
I'm interested in that case. I find the evidence a bit thin for my
Mhm.
taste. For the quadruple knife murder, I'd like a little bit more. So I'm interested in following that case.
How many extra stab wounds do you need though, Kurt?
Yeah. Well, I need to know that he did it is more the point. One is enough, but I need to know that he's the one.
No, look, that's fair. What was I going to say? Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm starting to sort of dip my toe into the various other cases that are floating around, because for very specific reasons, I haven't looked at the Delphi case. I haven't looked at Koberger. I didn't pay attention to Lori Vallow aside from what chat were telling me about various things. I know Corey Richards, there were things happening there, and I really should have paid more attention to that one, unfortunately. But I'll probably go back and try and sort that out sometime. Actually, I might even do that this weekend, honestly. But it takes one to the heart. Yeah, okay, it was a bad comment, guys. Don't Shanghai me for that.
Ooh, Shanghai. Dun dun dun.
But no. What do we got? So the mushroom killer so there was a woman here that went and foraged death cap mushrooms, and she fed them to her in-laws and to her husband. Now she's just had one of her first hearings. The transcripts and that aren't out yet, but she should be going to trial sometime around the end of the month. So I'm hoping that one will be interesting that I'm able to cover. So the the irony is that it's so much easier to cover US cases, A, because of the First Amendment and the rights of journalists. Here, we've got standing orders in each of the courts, as well as under the under certain legislation, as to how you can and can't report on criminal
Nice.
proceedings whilst they're
Nice.
happening.
Nice.
Yeah, it sucks.
You guys don't have a First Amendment? Maybe you guys should look into that.
Oh, I have been begging and pleading for anything even remotely close. The closest thing that we have is the implied freedom of political speech, and that's if we want to protest. And the High Court had to jump, skip, and loop through legal loopholes in order to get that in place. So, mushrooms, everyone knows that you use eye drops. Well, no. So the argument is that she legitimately was a forager. She'd previously been out and gotten mushrooms, and she was using them in meals, and she just happened to put death caps into a beef Wellington that she didn't eat, but everybody else in the household did.
She just happened to?
Yeah.
That feels negligent at minimum.
At least, yeah. So I think at this point it's an argument between whether or not she gets involuntary manslaughter or 3 counts of murder. So, because
what's the penalty for murder in Australia? Is it a slap on the wrist and a please try harder next time?
25 to life.
Oh, okay. Right.
I mean, look, back when the country was founded, it might have been a little bit easier, you know, convict on convict violence.
Sure.
They probably didn't care quite so much.
Yeah.
But no, once all the fancy pants people came across on the boats, they kind of made it so that if you kill somebody, you wind up behind bars. So
some of these countries, I'm just saying, man, it's like, how about 10 years or something? It's like, really? Well, yeah.
Really?
I mean, it seems like that. Some of these things, yeah. Canada apparently is pretty lenient on some of this stuff, apparently.
Oh, yeah, but that's because the Mounties rock up and say, oh, sorry, you killed someone, eh?
Bush McFadden says, F beef Wellington? Oh, man, no. It's one of my favorite dishes to make when it's like Christmas time. I like making beef Wellington. I think it's great. I do a
Bush is a chef, so he gets a little bit cranky.
I do a pretty decent beef Wellington, I'd like to say. So last time I did it, turned out pretty well.
No, fair enough. Just probably make it without the mushrooms if you can.
Well, I probably won't use the death cap mushrooms.
Mm.
I'll use golden teacher mushrooms and golden day. No, with cybacillin.
Oh my god! I was telling chat earlier, but on was it Sunday or Monday? I sat down to smoke a Monte Cristo, and I managed to gas myself. Like I tried to smoke an entire Monte Cristo in about 10 minutes, and I got
that was a mistake on every level. Yeah. Why'd you try to do that? That was dumb.
Well, basically because I wasn't sure how much time I had, like, without the family in the house, and so I was like, okay, I want to get this done just so that I can sit and enjoy it without people around. That way, I'm not having to get up, I'm not having to relight up, whatever else. The wife came home, and I'm sitting there, and I am white knuckling the sides of the chair because by this stage the nicotine had kicked in, and my head was swimming.
I haven't had a cigar in a while, man. It's been a couple of years at this point since I've had a cigar. I tend to prefer the milder cigars.
Yeah.
You know, like Macanudo or something, or Romeo and Julieta, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fair enough.
Get some of that Connecticut shade wrapper. DR seed. Not bad.
What's that? Oh, the Rum Rebellion government. Oh, yeah. Honestly, I don't know what happened to Australia. I think that, I mean, originally, when it all started out, it was supposed to be pretty badass because, let's face it, it was supposed to be a country founded by convicts. And to be fair, it was a country that was founded because you guys had the Boston Tea Party. The UK had nowhere to send their prisoners anymore, so they said, oh, let's found another country. The whole basis of our country is supposed to be badass. But no, we've let various soy boys, consecutive living government, curtail all our rights.
You're supposed to be made of tough stuff with spiders in every bush, and fighting against nature and rugged outback and all the rest of it.
Exactly. And it's just, and because honestly, I think what's happened is It's because these cities have become the epicenters as they do, and I swear to God, like for example, our prime minister at the moment, and I want to get your opinion on this too, Kurt. Career politicians. This guy literally went from university to working for another politician in a government position.
Mm-hmm.
He had a break of 6 months where he worked at a research facility for political science or something like that, and then he was immediately then back working as a politician. He was elected to a position in '95. He's been a career politician ever since.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, he
sounds
hasn't
like a
worked
typical day in the United States.
he hasn't worked a goddamn day in his life. I do not believe this guy should be running the country. He doesn't have any sort of idea as to how business works, how things work on the ground. And I went through his expense report because obviously because everything has to be transparent in terms of how they spend taxpayer money and that sort of stuff. His expense report for October to December last year, $978,000 on personal expenses.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the guy gets paid $600K as a salary, and this is on top of that. It's almost $1 million a quarter. He's just spending on either employing staff. When I say employing staff, I don't actually mean employing staff. I mean paying to fly his own staff and his family members around the country. But for some reason, despite the fact that he has a government-issued car, the taxpayer are also paying for him to lease a car and pay for a house that he doesn't actually live in. And it's just...
That seems questionable.
Yeah, it's icky to me. And icky's a very technical legal term, people.
And what is this guy's government position again? Remind me.
The prime minister, our equivalent of the president.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we would account for that, like in terms of U.S. accounting, because the salary of the president is $400,000, but he does also, on top of that, get some. I forget. He gets like an amount for like discretionary spending for like food and stuff on top of that, and then of course the transportation costs for the president are very expensive.
Yeah.
And they will also provide security for his home and stuff like that. So the cost of the president is fairly expensive. So it might be comparable, to be honest. I'm not sure if I can give him that hard a time.
Well, the funny thing is, if I compare the two, like if I put Anthony Albanese next to Donald Trump, I'm not really worried about someone taking a pot shot at Albanese. That's for sure.
Fair.
And that's not because I dislike the man.
Are you not worried about it because you don't think it will happen, or you're not worried about it because you can't be bothered to care if it does happen?
No, because I don't believe that it would happen. Yeah, no, I genuinely don't think that it would happen. It's more just I can't stand the man. I really can't. But I wouldn't put him anywhere. Like, I would not put him on the same class or level as almost
you guys
any
have a
other.
prime minister who went out to sea and never came back?
Harold Holt, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, he was retired.
Okay.
You know the irony on that, though? We named a swimming pool after him.
Excellent. Is it bottomless?
Just an infinity pool. Oh God. Oh, all right, Kurt. Well, look, I might go and get some sleep actually because it's 1:15. So
thanks
but
for
thank you so much for
spending
joining
some
me.
time with me. Thanks for letting me just stick around for a while on stream. It's nice.
No, honestly, anytime you want to drop by, I'm more than happy to. Because I was saying it to chat earlier tonight. Because I stopped sort of interacting with people, not just after Jeff passed, but because I sort of like condensed, shall we say? Like I stopped interacting with people. I stopped trying to go on other people's streams. I stopped inviting people onto mine. I need to be interacting with people basically. So no, I'm extremely happy that you dropped by.
Cool. Well, please enjoy your sleep.
Will do. All right, people. As always, please remember you are not a piece of shit. You have value. Oh, hang on. I can do this then. Oh, damn it. Oh, well, I suppose actually I can fix that. Because that will actually remind me to do so. So, hang on. That's fine. I can fix that up there. It'd be really helpful if I could just set it up so that I just push one button and the camera would flick over. Because the irony, the main issue that I have is that the camera flicking between, when the camera flicks between OBS and StreamYard, they can't both use the camera. So I have to actually disconnect it from one before I can connect it to the other, and it's just a pain in the backside. So, but anyway. Thank you to everyone that's been watching, and thank you very much to Kurt for dropping by. You know what? I might even clip this one up and sort of like do it as a separate video. But as always, people, please remember you're not a piece of shit. You have value and do contribute to society, especially for being here, for keeping us company, and for keeping yourselves entertained in chat. So, but as always, stay healthy, wealthy, wise, people, and I'll catch you all shortly. Cheers, peeps.
And again, on your way out, please do me the favor, hit the like and subscribe button if you're so inclined. It costs nothing. It's absolutely free, and we'll be friends forever. Bye now.
This shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Okay, 1 second. I'm just very curious about something. I got a phone call during the show. And by phone call, I mean to my Aussie Overlaw'd line. This can't be a coincidence. And I may come to regret this. Actually, you know what? Oh, okay, it was really nothing. Dunno. Anyway, next weekend, I'm thinking we'll do a call-in show, and I'll need to try and sort some other shit out and see how we go from there. But, peace out, peeps. Oh, if you're watching on the main channel, go and subscribe to the secondary channel, because at some point I am just going to hit the red button and all this will go... Okay? What'd you send me, Bush? Very quickly, what'd you send me? You sent me a dick pic. Of course you did. Yeah, that's what I just realized that I need to post the link. So. And now I've got to remember where the damn chat is. There it is. There you go. All right. Peace out, peeps. Where's the button? Where's the button? Oh, there. I'm using Stream Elements. Go figure.